in this country. You can see them on your screens. There's Sonia Gandhi. Rarely speaks, viewers. Let's be honest. When was the last time she was at a press conference? Next to her on her left is Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's the Congress president. To his left was Rahul Gandhi and of course the rest of the Congress brigade. Stung by the income tax authorities attaching crores of rupees in allegedly undeclared taxes, backdated for a few years, the Congress alleged that the Modi government wasn't only just freezing the party's bank accounts, but also freezing democracy. Viewers, the Congress said by hobbling, the act of hobbling its main rivals' ability to fund elections, the NDA government had rendered the poll contest a no contest. Viewers, listen in to the highly charged statements made by Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge. Listen to this.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जिस चुनावी चंदा बॉन्ड को इलीगल और अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल कहा, उस स्कीम के तहत मौजूदा सत्ताधारी दल ने हजारों करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा अपने अकाउंट में भर लिया है और दूसरी तरफ साजिशन मुख्य विपक्षी दल का बैंक अकाउंट फ्रीज कर दिया गया है ताकि हम पैसों के अभाव में बराबरी से चुनाव ना लड़े और ना लड़ पाए। ये सत्ताधारी दल द्वारा एक खतरनाक खेल है।
Systematic effort is underway by the Prime Minister to cripple the Indian National Congress financially.
All our bank accounts have been frozen. We can do no campaign work. We cannot support our workers. We cannot support our candidates. Our leaders cannot fly from one part of the country to the other. Forget fly. They can't take a railway train. And this has been done literally 2 months before the election campaign.
Now viewers, the BJP didn't mince any words in its response to the Congress accusing it of whining and making alibis for an impending poll defeat and saying that, does the Congress party really think it's above paying taxes? Listen.
In utter desperation of imminent defeat, the Congress party at the highest level sought to create an alibi today.
कांग्रेस पार्टी क्या चाहती है कि आयकर विभाग पूरे देश के लिए एक प्रकार से काम करे, कानून को जैसा है वैसे करे और कांग्रेस पार्टी के लिए दूसरे रूप से काम करे। हम कांग्रेस पार्टी है, नेहरू गांधी परिवार से, तो हमारे लिए अलग रूप से होना चाहिए।
Remember, it is not the bank account of the Congress party which is frozen. It is the Congress party which is frozen.
Now viewers, on this show we do our homework. I've come prepared with some hard facts. It has taken me pretty much the whole day after that press conference was held to read through not one but 2 court orders, viewers, page after page after page, to bring you these very important points. And when you consider these hard facts, it becomes clear that the Congress can't outrightly blame the BJP or the Modi NDA for its tax troubles. Though the matter is pending before the Supreme Court, the Congress has not managed to secure any relief in the tax case. And in fact, viewers, there's not just one tax case, there are 2 really. One that dates to the assessment year 2018-2019 and another to the assessment year 1994-1995. But let's focus our attention, and I'm not even talking about the cases that date to the assessment year 2014-15 straight up to 2020-21. So viewers, there are a large number of unanswered questions. But let's just focus on one particular assessment year, In fact, viewers, you will note that a double bench of the High Court was scathing in its rejection of the Congress party's plea to seek relief. And we are talking about the assessment year 2018, 2019. Just 1 year I have pulled out, viewers. The first fact, it's on your screens. This pertains to February 2nd, 2019. Again, remember the year, assessment year 2018-2019. The Congress filed a nil income tax in February 2nd, 2019. In September 23, 2019, do the maths, almost 7 months later, and in Jan 27, 2020, which is almost a year later, 11 months later, the income tax sends a notice to the Congress challenging the nil income tax declaration. 2 months later, March 18th, 2020, the Congress is informed of a proposed tax demand of rupees 94 crores 44 lakhs. On July 6, 2021, now you see the time that has elapsed, viewers. It's not a short amount of time. March 18, 2020 and July 6, 2021. Almost a year and 3 months later, income tax assesses the taxable income to be of approximately 200 crores. To be precise, 199 crores 15 lakhs 26,560. Look at fact 5. August 6, 2021. Viewers, a month later, the Congress moves the CITA seeking a stay on the recovery of 94 crores 44 lakhs. A few months later, about 3.5 months later, the assessment officer dismisses this plea seeking the stay and directs the Congress to deposit 20% of the outstanding tax liability. But guess what, viewers? The Congress doesn't question the assessment officer's order. It doesn't question it. Now, viewers, note the date once again. We are talking about October 28, 2021. And the Congress doesn't question. The AO warns the Congress, if it fails to deposit 20% of the total demand of rupees 94 crores 44 lakhs, it would be deemed an assessee in default. Viewers, in January 9th, next year, 2023, look at in fact, a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, remember October 28th, 2021, the assessment officer issues that warning that you will be an assessee in default before our eyes. Congress still does nothing, viewers. January 9th, 2023, almost a year and a half or, a year and 3 months or whatever it is later, ITAT issues a letter asking the Congress to deposit the total now outstanding tax liability, not just 20%. Come and deposit the whole lot. It's been too long. January 27, 2023, within days, the Congress moves an application to stay the ITAT demand. Now look at the amount of time that has lapsed before the Congress wakes up. Fact 10, March 28, 2023, CITA dismisses the appeal filed by the Congress. May 24, 2023. Now things are, as you can see, gathering pace. The Congress approaches the ITAT for a stay. February 13, 2024. Now, viewers, there is about 7-8 months that have elapsed. During the pendency of the appeal, CITA attaches approximately rupees 65 crores from various Congress accounts. Now, viewers, the Congress is all rattled and agog. And even as we speak, viewers, there is more developments coming in. The ED team has now reached the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. What is expected, we don't know, but viewers, there at the Kejriwal residence. We'll keep the visuals on one side because this is an important story also. At 7:30, I was going to bring you more details on this story. Why, viewers? Because today, the court has denied relief from arrest to Arvind Kejriwal, and you can see the guards there. And there's a negotiation going on between the ED team. ED has issued, viewers, almost a dozen now summons to Kejriwal. And with the court stepping up to the plate and saying, no way, can we give you relief from arrest? Viewers, anything could happen. Kejriwal could be arrested. Remember, 3 of his cabinet ministers are still in jail. 1 member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha in jail. None of them have got relief. They've applied for bail time and again, but got no relief. We're going to go straight across to our reporter. Anshul, what's happening? Anshul, what's happening?
So yes, a team of Enforcement Directorate along with security personnel from the Delhi Police and in fact senior officials of the Delhi Police has reached the residence of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, this happened after the Delhi High Court today rejected the plea by the Delhi Chief Minister of requesting the High Court to not take, basically requesting the Enforcement Directorate to not take any coercive action against him. And this was probably his last legal remedy that was left, because remember, today was the day when Enforcement Directorate had called the Delhi Chief Minister to come in and join into the investigation for the 9th time. Not only the summon was skipped, but also a setback was received by the Delhi Chief Minister today itself. And what we are being told at this point in time, that a team of senior officers from the Enforcement Directorate along with DCP rank officers of the Delhi Police has reached at the residence of Delhi Chief Minister. They are still trying to go inside the residence, is what we have been told. Within the next few minutes, they have already communicated with the PM security staff, and they have told them that they have come here for official purposes and they want to meet the Chief Minister, is what they have told the security personnel that are present at this point in time. It remains.
Well, earlier in the day, Anshul, just stay with me, bear with me, because this is a standoff. And this standoff, viewers, is not the first time we are seeing a standoff. Of course, we saw a standoff in Sandesh Kali. We've seen standoffs earlier also with regards to Kejriwal in the Enforcement Directorate team. We have seen standoffs when the Enforcement Directorate has knocked on Kejriwal's doors or the Delhi government's doors to arrest other top ministers. So this is now becoming a recurrent theme. And of course, Mr. Kejriwal has approached the courts seeking clarity on whether he can even present himself before the Enforcement Directorate. And unfortunately for him, he has got no protection from arrest, at least from the High Court. He can, of course, still move the Supreme Court. Not satisfied with this order, but I just want to quickly go across to Arunima. Arunima, a big jolt from the Delhi High Court earlier today, and the ED wasting no time. The ED wasting no time.
Yes, and Enforcement Directorate is confirming that yes, their officials are at Arvind Kejriwal's doorstep, just so that there is no confusion, because in the past there has always been, identity crisis, multiple agencies probing these cases, but ED is confirming that yes, indeed, it is their officials who are there. The clarity that is being given by Enforcement Directorate at this stage is that after what happened at High Court, the investigating team, had no legal bar on them from proceeding as per what the IO thought was best under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Section 50. Notice has been given in 2 cases. One is the liquor policy scam, where 9 summons have gone to Kejriwal. 10th summon is on its way, we are told, by the Enforcement Directorate. Kejriwal refuses to appear again. There are other legal remedies that the ED is already looking at, but there's also a Delhi Jal Board case in which he was asked to appear on the 18th and he refused. What the presence of Delhi police, DCP rank officers there also means is that the ED is apprehending. There could be some kind of a law and order issue. We have seen, be it the arrest of Hemant Soren or be it the presence of ED officials at Sandesh Khari or in Tamil Nadu, they've had to rely on central forces for the protection of ED officials. In this case also, we are waiting for ED to officially tell us why are they there, under what case they are serving, their summons are proceeding against Arvind Kejriwal, but they are moving very swiftly and underlining that there is no legal bar on the IO, and that's why these actions are being taken.
Well, you never know. Viewers, we started with the Congress and we moved down the India ranks to the Aam Aadmi Party. What a day it is turning out to be. Unprecedented day, viewers. I was giving you the hard facts on the Congress, and guess what happens? Kejriwal gets a hard knock on the door. from the Enforcement Directorate. And we are told that another summons has been served today, the 10th in the liquor gate scan. The alleged, let me be very clear here, because all these parties have become extremely litigious, viewers. You put a word edgeway here, wrong foot there, that's it. You will be called in, you will be hauled, and it's worse. Democracy is dying, viewers. It is dying in a large number of states where the opposition, and trust me, I know because I'm suffering on those accounts, but that's a different matter. I'm not the news here, but just watch these scenes. The 10th time the ED knocks to question Mr. Kejriwal. He has no protection from arrest today. I want to go back to our reporter Anshul, who's there. Anshul, have you been able? Okay, we don't have him. Let me just open this up. Dr. Ranganathan, the BJP national spokesperson, Ishkaran Bhandari, a lawyer. We are not lacking any brains. There is another lawyer also representing the Congress point of view. No one can say, viewers, there is no legal representatives here to talk up their various sides. What a day. Dr. Ranganathan, we were talking earlier today. We were doing a lot of research and we were hoping to talk about the Congress. And guess who? I mean, Mr. Kejriwal wants to steal the limelight even from the Gandhis now. I'm sorry, I'm not being facetious. I'm finding it, it's a crowded screen. Dr. Ranganathan, you're the person who's not a politician or from the legal fraternity. How are you seeing this? I mean, look, Mr. Kejriwal has gone before every forum available to him saying this is a witch hunt. He's got no relief. What do you make of this? And remember today, Dr. Ranganathan, the High Court said, show us proof that you can link, the ED that is, can link this man to the alleged liquor gate scam. And they did.
Good evening, Rahul. Good evening to my fellow panelists. I hope you can hear me. If you could please connect the phone audio, that'll be very grateful.
I can hear you.
Arvind Kejriwal, Rahul, to put it in short, is the fly that has settled on the fly swatter. And he's rubbing his four limbs with glee and living a charmed life. But for how long? In fact, I request the Prime Minister Modi to quickly award Sisodia, Kejriwal and Satinder the Bharat Ratna because it cannot be given to convicted Indians. And this looks like a race against time. No, but seriously, Kejriwal is the same man who announced himself as an Aam Aadmi, and today he's decided that he's going to blatantly ignore yet again the summons from a constitutional agency. A summons from a non-independent agency is still legal summons. And by the way, the ED conviction rate for PMLA cases is 95%. So this isn't some political witch hunt. And an Aam Aadmi respects the law of the land. Rahul, is this not the same Aam Aadmi Party, I ask you, that arrested a Congress MLA 6 months ago on a case that the Supreme Court had itself squashed? And the Congress MLA was arrested based on investigations carried out by, surprise,
Punjab.
the ED. Yeah. Then AAP said, let law take its own course. And here it is not willing to make the law take its own course, be that as it may. Just 30 seconds. Let me give you the facts and facts alone. This is from the Supreme Court order. Number one, the excess amount of 7% commission earned by the wholesale distributors for 338 crores constitute an offence as defined under Section 7 of the POC Act. These are proceeds of crime. This figure cannot be disputed or challenged. The new excise policy was meant to give windfall gains to select few wholesale distributors who in turn had agreed to give kickbacks and bribes. Number two, VAT and excise duty was payable separately. However, under the new policy, the VAT was reduced to mere 1%. 3. Manish Sisodia was unable to provide any rational explanation for increasing the commission from 5% to 12%. 4. Mahadev Liquor, a wholesale distributor having 20% market share, was forced to surrender their license since they were not ready to pay kickbacks. Punjab Excise Department was used to arm twist them. The fact of the matter is there is also Mr. Nair, who allegedly arranged a meeting of Indo-Spirit chief with Kejriwal. He is now the person who is spilling all the beans. So why I don't understand. All these things have been said not by the BJP, not by Amit Shah, not by Modi, but by Supreme Court. Let Kejriwal say that Supreme Court is also wrong. Let him say it. I challenge him.
Well, you see, this is a peculiar circumstance, and I want to bring in our other friends also. Let me come to you. I'm coming to you, Sanju Verma now. Can you hear me? I just want to ask you
Yes,
this question.
I can.
I mean, look, yes, there is, of course, prima facie a smoking gun, and we can see that. We can see that, but I also find it a little strange that, well, I'll come to that part, but I just want to ask you, is this really timed to the elections? Do you want Mr. Kejriwal, for example, do you want the Congress party, all its funds in your pocket, or at least in the income tax department's pocket, so that they have no money to even take a train? That's what Rahul Gandhi said. I mean, if tomorrow the ED were to show up, I hope you will give them some money to take an Uber out of their house, but I don't know. And now, and now, of course, Mr. Kejriwal finds himself in the same pickle. He might be in jail. What kind of election will we have if somebody is taking an Uber on your money to perhaps go and escape the ED and the other person is in jail? What happens? There'll be no contest.
You know, Rahul, I have to admit one thing. Despite, things heating up, you've certainly not lost your sense of humor, nor has Mr. Ranganathan. Unfortunately, humor is not one of my virtues. So I will stick to what my strong point is, that is giving hard data and corroborating my argument. The first and foremost thing, and this is with offense to none, I have this to say, that if you look at the press release of the Enforcement Directorate dated 17th March 2024, what does it say? This is just last week. The Enforcement Directorate mentioned a few very important things. A, it mentioned that raids have been conducted in 245 locations. There is one prosecution complaint and 5 supplementary complaints that were made. 15 arrests have been made. Most importantly, they have spoken in their press release of proceeds of crime pertaining to 128.79 crore rupees. They've spoken of a quid pro quo of 100 crore between K. Kavita and Arvind Kejriwal led liquor cartel. And to add to all this, the Supreme Court in October 2023 has clearly said a money trail of rupees 338 crore has been tentatively established. So like I always say, without being verbose, in any criminal offense, there are 3 things which are of paramount importance: mala fide intent, proceeds of crime, and a money trail. Has the Enforcement Directorate, ensured that all these 3 have been presented to the Delhi High Court, the CBI Special Court, and the Supreme Court over the course of the investigation? The answer is yes. If there is no liquor scam to speak of, which is what the Aam Aadmi Party ambassadors come and say on every debate, I have a simple question for them. Why is Manish Sisodia still in lockup? Why is Sanjay Singh still in lockup? Why is Satinder Jain still in lockup? In fact, Satinder Jain was asked to surrender because remember he got some relief on grounds of ill health. And last but not the least, they say that the smoking gun, the incontrovertible evidence in any criminal offense, is a witness or an approver. And Dinesh Arora, while Section 306 of the CRPC turned an approver and named Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodia, Arvind Kejriwal, K. Kavita, Arun Ramchandra Pillai, Abhishek Boinpalli, Vijay Nair, Amit Arora, Amandeep Dhal, so on and so forth. So when you have people who are witnesses, when you have a smoking gun in terms of a money trail, how can you say that ye BJP ki conspiracy hai? That argument does not hold water.
That argument doesn't hold water. Now there is a bit of a complication here, viewers, and I want to bring in Ishkaran Bhandari and his legal acumen, as well as, of course, Mr. Jindal. Both are lawyers. Now, this is very important, viewers, very well versed. Congratulations to you, Ishkaran Bhandari, because you've just been appointed the government's counsel. So that is a huge feather in your cap. So I'm just going to ask you this because this is very important. And it could really lead to a piquant circumstance here. I'm being told that the ED has presented search warrant to the security of Mr. Kejriwal. Now, search warrant is different from, an arrest warrant, for instance. Can the security deny the Enforcement Directorate its court mandated right now to search the premises of Mr. Kejriwal? What happens?
No. Rahul, the short answer is no. The security cannot deny ED from carrying out its duty, which is to investigate the matter. Let us be very clear. Last 2 days, the hearings in the Honorable High Court before a division bench were of seminal importance. Because A, it was argued that the money laundering offence is not applicable on a political party. Now that argument means that if a political party is doing money laundering, it will not be a crime. So that is one of the arguments made. But it was also argued this petition is not maintainable. I will not go into technical details. Let's be on the ground of, can Mr. Arvind Kejriwal be arrested, not be arrested? Does he have any protection from the court? Does he not have any protection from the court? So this is the first time he has challenged the summons. The proceedings happening in the district court, where you saw a lot of Aam Aadmi Party people coming out and saying that since the summons are in district court, why is he summoning again and again? That was a misinformation. I was on your debate where I said it's a misinformation because that is only non-compliance with the lawful authority. That was the entire remit of that complaint. A lawful authority has summoned you, you are not appearing. That's a separate offence. So that was pending before the district court, where he got bail. Nothing to do with money laundering in the liquor gate, where Mr. Manish Sisodia is in jail, where Ms. K. Kavita is in jail, where Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned. Now that summon had been challenged before the Honorable High Court. Yesterday the Honorable High Court said, why can't he appear before the ED? Why can't he answer the summons? He is a citizen of this country. Why can't he appear? That was it yesterday. Today they again filed an application where they were seeking a protection. Protection meaning, in simple layman terms, a sort of an anticipatory bail, a sort of an interim relief where if he goes to ED offices, he will not be arrested. So the moot point was, can the ED arrest him? Can the ED not arrest him? Which the court had to decide, would he be protected? The court decided that at this stage, after hearing both the sides, after ED presenting its evidence, ED did not want to show the evidence to a person they have summoned, so the judges had to see the evidence in their chambers. The judges declined to give Mr. Kejriwal any relief.
Okay.
So it cleared the way, it cleared the decks. One last point, the ASG had argued in the court, we may arrest him, we may not arrest him. So there are three things that can happen. The court can give you protection, the investigative agency can say we will not arrest him, or you get nothing. The investigative agency said we may arrest him, we may not. So they did not give any statement. The court has not given any protection. Now the ED has no blockage, nothing preventing them from arresting. If they are satisfied, it's a case of arrest. That's the legal position as it stands today.
No, so hang on. So let me come back to you. I'm going to ask you this question, Ishkan Bhandari. Are you saying that the judges applied their mind after seeing, first they asked, of course, the Enforcement Directorate to produce what they believed would have been prima facie evidence linking Mr. Kejriwal to this alleged Liquorgate scandal, right? Now, they go into their chambers, they look at the file, then they come out and they reject his application seeking relief from arrest. Does that, so if I can add 2 plus 2, does that mean that there is material evidence there? Prima facie?
Rahul, we do not know what the judges saw, but their order reflects it. If they were convinced that it's a case to give him protection, they would have given it. They expressly say, we have heard both the sides. At this stage, we are not inclined to pass orders of protection. So that means they were, whatever the ED presented, which we do not have access to because it was in a sealed cover and the judges, but the order shows that they did not grant any protection.
No, what are we seeing? We are seeing on our
Is
screens,
granted,
Ishkan Bhandari, this face-off, how is this face-off tenable? I mean, you have some Delhi police people there. They are there to provide sort of ring-fence security. Unless, perhaps, I don't know, to guard against the possibility of a large number of AAP workers landing up and creating a ruckus. That might be the reason. The perimeter sort of security layer has been thrown. But why is there a standoff? Can Mr. Kejriwal's security, and whose security is that? Who provides him that security? How is it sort of not letting the ED in?
It's a question to me, or it's to
you.
This is frankly something the Aam Aadmi Party should answer. Because, Rahul, there is no ground on which security cannot allow an investigative agency to come in and carry out its duty. There is a search warrant which has been served, as your screen is showing. They have to carry out their duty. If anybody obstructs them in their lawful duty, that becomes a crime in itself. So I am not sure why is it taking time, because I don't have access to that information. But you cannot stop investigative agency from coming in, and doing its duty,
Saurabh
which they are
Bhardwaj,
legally mandated to do.
another Delhi government minister there who's just arrived in that it appears to be an Innova, and he's apparently inside that car. There you can get a brief glimpse of him. He's sitting there. So viewers, it's all happening outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. There's a whole bunch of his staff there, his office staff, they're there. The ED is there. The ED has a search warrant. The lawyer on this show, Ishkaran Bhandari, says very clearly, and look, in the interests of fairness, viewers, I've said that he has become the central government's counsel now. So I don't expect him to take any partisan view. He's only giving us what he's telling us based on the law. You know that search warrants cannot be at any level ignored. You can't have that. This is still, as much as many people claim this to be a banana republic. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, yes, you wanted to come in. This is completely now becoming, I just can only say that this is becoming a little anarchic.
Rahul, just
Yeah, doctor.
Rahul, just a thing.
Yes,
Rahul,
yeah.
can I just make a point?
Yeah.
Rahul, I am not ED counsel, so I have nothing to do with this case. Just
Okay,
a
nothing to
disclaimer,
do.
I'm not
Your
an ED
government
counsel in
counsel,
this
nothing to do with this case. Okay, yes, Dr. Ranganathan, you
No,
want to
I'm
make
not
a
ED
point?
counsel.
Yeah. Doctor. You're on mute. Dr. Ranganathan, you're on mute. Unmute yourself, please. Thank you. Okay, we don't have you. Something wrong there. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. 1 second. Mr. Jindal, what's going on? ED is a villain, ED is this, ED is that, and the ED seems to be doing its homework, going to court, getting favorable orders. This is not looking good anymore. Yes, you can say that ED is partisan, it only goes after, but that's a bit of whataboutery. Let's talk about this matter. The ED makes a strong case saying that, look, this man wants immunity from arrest, we're against it. It gets a huge order in its favor. After the court says, come back to our room, the judge said, let's have a look at what you've got. Show us your evidence or prima facie, whatever you claim is proof evidence, and it comes out and says, okay, no immunity from arrest. This is not looking good.
Well, Rahul, the very basis of PMLA Act authorizes the ED to carry out arrest without the permission of the state government. The PMLA Act in itself is draconian. In fact, the lawyer on the panel would agree that it's an act which goes contrary to the maxim of innocent until found guilty. It is for the person who is accused to prove his innocence, not for the ED to prove that that person is guilty. The PMLA Act authorizes the officials to carry out arrest if he is satisfied that that person needs to be arrested in the ongoing case. So please do not consider ED and its proceedings as similar to Criminal Procedure Code.
Hey, listen,
The ED
General, the prayer was very simple. The prayer was, hand this man to us. Dr. Muni is also here. Dr. Ranganathan, yes, you wanted to make a point. Yes. Yeah,
Very
I'll just come to you,
briefly, 2
Sanju.
points.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't want my good friend Lokesh to muddy the waters, because what he talks about draconian provisions, they were placed before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court deliberated, and the Supreme Court has given these rights and powers to the ED, including the... Now, please don't interrupt. Now, thank you. Number one, so this thing about innocent, guilty before, being proven innocent, all these things, Lokesh, I don't expect you to interrupt me. Please, Lokesh, this is very unfair.
Mr. Jindal, I'll give you time to rebut Dr. Ranganathan. Let him just make his point at least, sir. You're putting a potato into his mouth even before he can open it.
Yes, so the fact of the matter is that the Supreme Court has gone in minute detail over every objection that people like Lokesh and others have been peddling for the last month. And Supreme Court has sided with the Enforcement Directorate. Ishkaran Bhandari can verify this. Number two, at no point, in fact, it has been out of the way that yes, ED is not independent. Rahul, you and I have both admitted that. But here, every square inch of the step taken by the ED has been acted upon by the courts, by the High Court, by the Magistrate Court, by the appellant. Every step of the way, even today, whether arrest can be made or not, everything has been dealt with by court. So to say that yes, ED is not independent, I myself agree. But here, ED is acting with the court looking on it directly. So please, this excuse is totally invalid.
Yeah, we are speaking in specific terms, Mr. Muni. You can say that the ED is partisan and I have data. 1 second, Sanju Verma, you can respond to Akashdeep Muni. It will make for a much more balanced debate. Mr. Muni, let's look at this matter. Mr. Kejriwal has thrown the kitchen sink at the courts. I am not going to, you see, I have so much to do.
Correct.
I am going out there. I am involved in my campaigning. Now 10th summon lands at his door. It's knocking hard. It's not even landing. It's knocking, beating down that door. And Kejriwal has gone from court to court only to be turned away, Mr. Akashdeep Muni. This is not looking good. And today's hearing in the High Court, the judge asked, show us prima facie the proof. You can't just go after a chief minister. And they do. He goes into the chamber at the back, the judge. The ED brings its files. The other counsel is there. Says these are the basic points. And there are so many. I can talk about Vijay Nair, who orchestrated the scam, is a close associate of Kejriwal. The ED believes Vijay had supported a sanction of Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia. Vijay Nair was acting on behalf of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. New excise policy was the brainchild of Arvind Kejriwal. This is what the justice would have known and seen, and there would have been proof in some sort of column adduced to these claims. So, Mr. Muni, this is not looking good anymore for Mr. Kejriwal.
Rahulji, first of all, I have utmost respect for you and your journalistic capabilities. But today it seems that you have not done your fact checks properly and haven't gone through the court proceedings. Today, there are two important instances that happened in the case.
Okay.
Let me come and then you can rebut me, sir.
Yeah, I can. Please go ahead.
Today, the ASG, Mr. Raju, told to the Honorable Court that neither Aam Aadmi Party or Arvind Kejriwal is accused in this particular case. Quote unquote. So all the media furor regarding the press release and etc. Arvind Kejriwal has been named and etc. This all falls flat when the ASG of Enforcement Directorate, the lawyer of Enforcement Directorate, says that neither Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal is an accused in the case. Second point factor is the Delhi High Court directs Enforcement Directorate to file a reply to Arvind Kejriwal's petition challenging the summons in 2 weeks. So now the Enforcement Directorate will have to answer to Arvind Kejriwal कि भाई आपके summons क्यों झूठे और illegal नहीं है. Court also asked Enforcement Directorate to present material evidence. And the Enforcement Directorate said that material is investigated, cannot be presented in the court.
No, please, Akashdeep Muni. Hang on. I don't know who's done their homework. I want to ask you, are you also going to deny? Mr. Muni, first of all, viewers, let me tell you, why is the ED questioning Mr. Kejriwal? If he was an accused, they would have immediately arrested him by now. They want to know if the charges that are being made against him by the others, do they add up? So they just want to question him. One second, Mr. Muni, please, let me speak. Sir, आपको कितना homework मिला है मुझे तो पता नहीं. You've got so much homework that you are distracted. Dr. Ranganathan is holding something up. आप अपना homework कीजिए. एक minute, just 1 second. I just want to listen. Since a charge has been made against me, मेरे को तो आज homework ही नहीं मिला. मैं तो आज research कर रहा था. मैं कल अपना homework submit करूँगा based on my research, Dr. Muni. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, you are holding something up. Supreme Court, something. I can't see it very clearly. What are you saying? Dr. Ranganathan, I can't hear you. Supreme Court upholds powers of arrest, raid, seizure under PMLA. Of course. Yeah. Now let me just...
please...
There is no point to this.
Okay, Saurabh Bhardwaj suddenly speaking. Let's listen in.
जिस तरह से पुलिस अंदर है और मुख्यमंत्री जी के निवास में किसी को जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, ऐसा लग रहा है कि मुख्यमंत्री जी के यहाँ रेड मारी गई है और उनके मन में क्या है ये नहीं मालूम, बट ऐसा दिखता है कि मुख्यमंत्री जी को गिरफ्तार करने की पूरी तैयारी है
तो क्या सर आज मुख्यमंत्री को जाने दो?
तो यहाँ पर आपने सौरभ
भारद्वाज को सुना जिन्होंने
Well. That's been a quick update. Saurabh Bharadwaj coming in and saying police is inside. There seems to be a raid underway. He's going to be arrested today. Take it from me in writing. This is what he says. Well, Saurabh Bharadwaj is entitled to his view. The court has, of course, struck down any immunity that Kejriwal was seeking from arrest. Let me tell you, viewers, the ED hasn't made him an accused right now simply because they want to question him. Then once they are satisfied or unsatisfied, they will make up their mind. That's basic law and legal. We are not in a dictatorship, viewers. Everything has happened with court sanction. Yes, Sanju Verma, you want to rebut Mr.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Muni. Yes.
Yes. Rahul, from what I know, you do your homework thoroughly and your research thoroughly. But be that as it may, taking off from what Dr. Ranganathan pointed out, on his mobile, I just want to say one very important thing which your viewers should know. I've been on umpteen debates with Ishkaran on, this particular liquor scam issue as well. Please understand that in that historic judgment of July 2022, Justice A.M. Khanvilkar, it was a 3-judge bench. And what did they say? They said a couple of very important things. Ideally, bail is the norm and jail is the exception. But in the case of PMLA related crimes, bail is not the norm. Second most important thing, they also said that while it is the prerogative or choice of the Enforcement Directorate to point out verbally the reasons for arresting a person, furnishing an ECIR, which is the equivalent of a FIR, it is not mandatory or obligatory. And point number 3, because I've been on other channels also, after K. Kavita's arrest, the one argument which everybody seems to be making is, since the case is still sub judice, how could the Enforcement Directorate arrest K. Kavita because the case is still pending in the Supreme Court? To that, the Supreme Court itself in the July 2022 verdict said, while quoting the Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus the Union of India case, this is the case which has been referred to by CJI Chandrachud even in April 2023 while responding to Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who said ED is functioning as a handmaiden of the Modi government. Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus the Union of India case clearly says, even if a case is sub judice, even if the entity or concerned people are facing trial, nothing stops the Enforcement Directorate or the concerned investigation agencies to go ahead and suo moto arrest. And my last question is this. You keep trolling the Enforcement Directorate. When I say you, I mean the other side of the cabal, which feels, that Arvind Kejriwal is Raja Harish Chandra ka chautha avatar. They keep saying, ED is, just an advisory body. Excuse me. ED was an advisory body way back in 1964. There was an amendment made by the Central Vigilance Commission in 2003, post which the ED is now a statutory body with powers of a civil court. Had they wanted, they could have arrested Arvind Kejriwal right after he rejected the 3rd summon, because that is what the ED is entitled to do. But यहाँ पर तो 9 summon को Arvind Kejriwal ने comply नहीं किया, and the ED is still giving him a long rope.
Piyush Joshi, look at the extent to which the Enforcement Directorate has gone, so that no one can come out and say that it is acting in a manner that is arbitrary. Every action, every step, it goes to the court or it is taken to the court by Mr. Kejriwal. And Kejriwal's success rate is very, very poor. I think Mr. Muni needs to represent him. Mr. Muni has absolute powers of deduction and logical reasoning. The entire Kejriwal legal team should be sacked, Mr. Joshi, because I can't understand if the conviction with which Mr. Muni speaks after having ascertained the facts, then it's quite clear. Okay, another bite coming in from Saurabh Bharadwaj.
हाई कोर्ट के पास पूरा का पूरा मामला था. हाई कोर्ट ने ईडी को समय दिया है 22 अप्रैल तक का कि आप अपना जवाब दाखिल करें कि अरविंद केजरीवाल की गिरफ्तारी क्यों जरूरी है. और अब जिस तरीके से ईडी अरविंद जी के घर में फिलहाल है, बाहर पुलिस का बड़ा बंदोबस्त दिख रहा है, घर के अंदर जाने की मनाही है। उनके फ़ोन से ना मुख्यमंत्री जी से ना उनके सचिव से कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हो पा रहा है। ऐसा लगता है कि ईडी वालों ने उनके फ़ोन्स वगैरह भी ले लिए हैं। पूरा का पूरा अंदेशा ये है कि अंदर रेड चल रही है जी। और बहुत जल्द उनको गिरफ्तार करने वाले हैं। एक बात इससे साफ है, अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी को किसी से डर लगता है तो वो अरविंद केजरीवाल है। अगर नरेंद्र मोदी जी का विकल्प इस देश में कोई है तो वो अरविंद केजरीवाल है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को हो सकता है वो आज गिरफ्तार करेंगे, मगर हर गली में, हर मोहल्ले में, हर गांव में, हर कस्बे में अरविंद केजरीवाल की सोच वाले नए अरविंद केजरीवाल पैदा होंगे।
बीजेपी की तरफ से
और वो सोच जो है, उस सोच को आप गिरफ्तार नहीं कर सकते। अंग्रेजों ने भी बहुत लोगों को गिरफ्तार किया, 10-10 साल जेलों के अंदर रखा, हाउस अरेस्ट के अंदर रखा, मगर जो आइडिया होता है उसको गिरफ्तार करना बहुत मुश्किल होता है। और ये बहुत गलत परंपरा आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने शुरू की है जी। कि अपने विरोधियों को आप जेल में डाल दें और अकेले ही चुनाव लड़ें, तो ऐसा प्रजातंत्र में होता नहीं है। ये सीधा सीधा एक अत्याचार है कि आप एक छोटी सी पार्टी, आप तो कहते हैं कि सुपारी जितनी पार्टी है, इतनी छोटी पार्टी है। जब इतनी छोटी, मैं आपसे बात नहीं कर रहा प्लीज, है मैं PNI को बाइट दे रहा हूं। जब इतनी छोटी पार्टी से इतना बड़ा डर है कि इनको गिरफ्तार ही करना है, कैसे भी गिरफ्तार करना है, तो ये बात आज जो है, इनका जो अत्याचार है वो आज पूरे देश और पूरी दुनिया के सामने आ गया है।
Now, it's all very intriguing, viewers. And I'm just going to now take you through some facts, and Mr. Joshi is at hand to listen to them. The Delhi High Court, remember viewers, this action is taking place after the Delhi High Court itself refused to pass orders granting interim protection from coercive action to Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in this alleged money laundering case related to the alleged liquor policy case. What did the court say? And let me quote it. We have heard both sides. However, at this stage, we are not inclined to pass any order. This is the division bench of the High Court, not one judge, a division bench, viewers. And viewers, what was said by the other side? Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi appearing for Kejriwal, ASG SV Raju along with Special Counsel Zohaib Hussain represented Enforcement Directorate. These are not people who don't know the law. During the hearing today, Singhvi contended that the Enforcement Directorate was, quote, attempting a non-level playing field, unquote, at this stage with elections around the corner, and that the summons did not provide as to in what capacity was Kejriwal called to be physically present. He says, quote, the only object is come to my parlor. Don't have coffee, I'll arrest you. What information on earth do you want? I'll give you, unquote. Viewers, Mr. Raju on the other side says that Kejriwal can't go beyond the law. He said the law has to be same for every individual. Imagine, viewers, if you or Dr. Ranganathan, the ED was outside their doors with these search warrants, he wouldn't have a door left in his house. It'd be kicked down. But here, viewers, you have, and this is very good, let this entire matter be looked and scrutinized by the court. I'm going to take a short break. I'll be right back to Mr. Joshi to hear his response. It's the court sanctioning the Enforcement Directorate to take coercive action today, in a sense. I'll come right back, viewers.
मैडम जी,
The ED team has now reached the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. What is expected, we don't know, but viewers, there at the Kejriwal residence, we'll keep the visuals on one side because this is an important story also. At 7:30, I was going to bring you more details, on this story. Why, viewers? Because today the court has denied relief from arrest to Arvind Kejriwal, and you can see the guards there. And there's a negotiation going on between the ED team. ED has issued, viewers, almost a dozen now summons to Kejriwal. And with the court stepping up to the plate and saying, no way can we give you relief from arrest, viewers, anything could happen. Kejriwal could be arrested. Remember, 3 of his cabinet ministers are still in jail. 1 member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha in jail. None of them have got relief. They've applied for bail time and again, but got no relief. We're going to go straight across to our reporter. Anshul, what's happening? Anshul, what's happening?
So yes, a team of Enforcement Directorate along with security personnel from the Delhi Police and in fact senior officials of the Delhi Police has reached the residence of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, this happened after the Delhi High Court today rejected the plea by the Delhi Chief Minister of requesting the High Court to not take, basically requesting the Enforcement Directorate to not take any coercive action against him. And this was probably his last legal remedy that was left, because remember, today was the day when Enforcement Directorate had called the Delhi Chief Minister to come in and join into the investigation for the 9th time. Not only the summon was skipped, but also a setback was received by the Delhi Chief Minister today itself. And what we are being told at this point in time, that a team of senior officers from the Enforcement Directorate along with DCP rank officers of the Delhi Police has reached at the residence of Delhi Chief Minister. They are still trying to go inside the residence, is what we have been told. Within the next few minutes, they have already communicated with the PM security staff, and they have told them that they have come here for official purposes and they want to meet the Chief Minister, is what they have told the security personnel that are present at this point in time. It remains.
Well, earlier in the day, Anshul, just stay with me, bear with me, because this is a standoff, and this standoff, viewers, is not the first time we are seeing a standoff. Of course, we saw a standoff in Sandesh Kali. We've seen standoffs earlier also with regards to Kejriwal in the... Viewers, we are discussing a massive development in the union capital. We started by pointing at another unprecedented development, which was Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Kharge holding a joint press conference, suggesting that their accounts had been frozen and by extension, democracy was being frozen because the Congress had no money to fight the election. Within hours of that, viewers, the High Court came out, a division bench, and denied Kejriwal interim protection from any coercive action from the Enforcement Directorate, including arrest. And guess what? The ED is now at Mr. Kejriwal's residence, raiding the residence. And Mr. Joshi, I want to ask you, sir, with the court having sanctioned this willy-nilly, can you now say that there is no smoke without fire? That Mr. Kejriwal is completely and utterly unconnected to anything that requires his questioning? I'm not talking about guilt, sir. I'm just talking about questioning.
Right. First and foremost, let me make it amply clear that whatever I am going to speak, it's going to be my opinion only, and it's not going to be Aam Aadmi Party's opinion in any manner at all. So all I want to say that let us elaborate on what you have been questioning so far in the program. That ED has gone to extraordinary lengths. You have been talking about the legal hustle bustle. So what I am here to comment upon, that the ED has actually gone to extraordinary lengths to act as an executive arm of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have seen it in the matters of electoral bonds, and we have seen it in the partisan manner in which the Enforcement Directorate has been acting, and the cases against the opposition leaders and the activity in those cases against the activity in the cases of the BJP leaders makes it amply clear to what lengths the Enforcement Directorate has actually gone. Now, the second point you made, that it is looking really bad for Mr. Kejriwal. It is not only looking bad for Mr. Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party. If Mr. Kejriwal is arrested, definitely it's going to be a body blow to the Aam Aadmi Party. If Mr. Kejriwal is arrested, I have no doubts in my mind. But it is actually looking bad for the democracy of the India. But at the fag end of the election, at the eve of the Lok Sabha election, which is the biggest exercise in the world, in democracy to freeze the accounts of the largest opposition party, and secondly to arrest the chief. Mind you, the Kejriwal ji is not only Arvind Kejriwal as a person, in which the capacity the ASG Raju demanded him to be questioned about. So the Mr. Kejriwal is the convener of the fastest growing political party in the country. Mr. Kejriwal is the convener of a national party which is going to give a tough time to BJP in Punjab and Delhi. So if Mr. Kejriwal is arrested, today, then it is definitely looking bad for the country as such, because ultimately to make the government accountable, to keep the actions of government in check, you need a strong opposition. So you freeze the account of the largest political party and then to arrest the convener of the fastest growing party is actually looking bad. I'm not going to get into the legal
all of
part,
this, whatever this
I'm not
gentleman
allowed.
is saying, Mr. Joshi is saying, has been disregarded by the courts. Disregarded by the courts. Let's go across to Atishi.
केजरीवाल खड़े हो जाएंगे इस देश के संविधान को बचाने के लिए।
तो अभी क्या आप अंदर जा रही हैं? हो रहा है?
अभी तो देखिए अंदर जाने का सवाल नहीं है, अभी तो पुलिस यहाँ पे भारी संख्या में तैनात है, तो अभी हम यहीं पे इंतजार करेंगे।
अभी आएंगे क्या? और आप लोगों के नेता या कार्यकर्ता आ रहे हैं, खबर मिल रही जैसे जैसे?
वो तो स्वाभाविक है। आप ऐसे लोकप्रिय मुख्यमंत्री को गिरफ्तार करने की कोशिश करेंगे तो मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि पूरी दिल्ली भर से लोग आएंगे। दिल्ली के लोग अरविंद केजरीवाल से प्यार करते हैं। दिल्ली के लोग अरविंद केजरीवाल को अपना भाई मानते हैं, अपना बेटा मानते हैं, अपने परिवार का सदस्य मानते हैं, क्योंकि अरविंद केजरीवाल ने दिल्ली वालों की जिंदगी में आमूलचूल परिवर्तन किया है, और इसी वजह से मोदी जी को डर लगता है अरविंद केजरीवाल से।
It's all happening around the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Namaste and Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on and staying with this sudden development this Thursday evening here on the right stand, even as Enforcement Directorate officials along with members of the Delhi police have actually entered Mr. Kejriwal's residence armed with a search warrant, and also after a day-long drama in the Delhi High Court that denied any interim relief to Arvind Kejriwal, despite some fervent pleas and strong argument made by Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Atishi is currently right outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence, even as more and more AAP MLA workers are arriving there. Let's listen in.
ये साफ दिखाता है कि एक राजनीतिक साजिश है। ये साफ दिखाता है कि ईडी के पीछे से छुपकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी अरविंद केजरीवाल पर हमला कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को पता है कि अगर पूरे देश में कोई एक नेता है जो उनको चैलेंज कर रहा है, वो नेता अरविंद केजरीवाल है।
ईडी कह रही है कि फिलहाल ये भी सर्च ऑपरेशन है और पूछताछ की जा रही है।
तो सर्च ऑपरेशन के लिए उन्हें 4-4 बसों में पुलिस भर के लाने की क्या जरूरत थी? सर्च ऑपरेशन के लिए उन्हें 2-2 वैन रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स भर के लाने की क्या जरूरत थी? सर्च ऑपरेशन के लिए पूरे इलाके में बैरिकेड लगाने की क्या जरूरत थी? तो ये बिल्कुल साफ है। देखिए, ये कोई पहला सर्च ऑपरेशन थोड़ी हो रहा है। सैकड़ों जगह रेड मार चुके हैं, 1 रुपया नहीं मिला है ईडी को 2 साल में। तो ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करने की साजिश है। लेकिन मैं फिर से कहूंगी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को कि अरविंद केजरीवाल एक इंसान नहीं है, अरविंद केजरीवाल एक आइडिया है, अरविंद केजरीवाल एक विचार है। आप एक अरविंद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करोगे तो सैकड़ों अरविंद केजरीवाल इस देश के संविधान को बचाने के लिए खड़े हो जाएंगे।
हो पा रहा है अरविंद जी से बात में कुछ बात
अभी कोई संपर्क नहीं है।
गिरफ्तार हो जाते हैं तो क्या आप लोग यहाँ प्रदर्शन करेंगे, क्या करेंगे?
देखिए, अभी तो देखते हैं क्या होता है।
अभी पुलिस आपको जाने दे रही है या नहीं?
नहीं, हम तो अभी यहीं पे वेट कर रहे हैं।
They're saying that Arvind Kejriwal is not just an individual, he is also an idea, and there will be many other Arvind Kejriwals who will stand up across the country, and Delhi will turn out. Aam Aadmi Party MLAs urging AAP supporters, AAP workers to gather near Arvind Kejriwal's residence, but there is heavy police bandobast. Delhi police and rapid action force personnel have been brought in buses to cordon off that entire area. No presence of the CRPF yet. What does that imply? And there is an update coming through that the ED officials have started questioning Mr. Kejriwal. Anshul and Arunima live with us from very close to Mr. Kejriwal's residence. Yes, Arunima.
Yes, so the confirmation finally coming in that ED is questioning Arvind Kejriwal. The questioning is happening in connection with the Delhi liquor policy scam. And the ED officials, I must tell you, are being extremely tight-lipped. However, they are citing precedent of what really happened when K. Kavita was questioned. A similar trajectory was followed there. K. Kavita, initially there were search warrants with which ED officials reached there. Her premises was searched for about 2.5 hours, and subsequently an arrest memo was served on her, and she was brought to Delhi. There were a lot of questions raised as to why, without a transit remand, she was brought to Delhi. But the ED said that it is an agency, a federal agency, and therefore it does not require a transit remand. So that precedent is being pointed out that the IO, in his or her wisdom, does have the power under Prevention of Money Laundering Act to take any person, and that could be Mr. Kejriwal as well, to the ED headquarters if they deem it fit. And if the IO deems it fit, then the process of custodial interrogation can also be carried out. So that is not being ruled out at this stage. And the precedent being cited also is giving ominous sign as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. At this stage, factually, what do we know? The ED team is present at Mr. Kejriwal's residence. Questioning is on. He's being asked questions about the liquor policy scam. There is heavy deployment of the RAF, which is the Right Action Force of the CRPF. So if any untoward incident happens, there is enough police deployment, there's enough RAF deployment there, and that is giving you an indication of what ED is preparing.
True. Now, if the Rapid Action Force of the CRPF is present and that was ratified by Atishi herself as she was speaking to the media, then it's significant because it may not just stop at mere questioning. There could be more, ladies and gentlemen. There is heavy cordoning, and Rupashri Nanda telling us that Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's legal team is in touch with the Registrar of the Honorable Supreme Court, trying to push for an urgent plea or a listening and to try and bring the matter to the notice of the Chief Justice of India. But Anshul is with us. Anshul, what's the update on ground? The questioning has begun. Do we have any more inclination or indication of what could happen? The Aam Aadmi Party MLAs and Aam Aadmi Party leaders are saying that this is all just the background work or the groundwork that will move into Mr. Kejriwal's arrest some time from now.
So yes, if you see the manner in which the entire investigation has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate, 9 summons had already been served to the Delhi Chief Minister. Today was the day when the Delhi Chief Minister was supposed to depose himself before the Enforcement Directorate, but today as well he decided to skip the summons. And once the setback was received by Arvind Kejriwal from the Delhi High Court, finally the Enforcement Directorate team has reached his residence along with senior officials of the Delhi Police. They have a search warrant with them, is what they have informed the Delhi Chief Minister, and along with that, the questioning Delhi Chief Minister has started. Now, why is the questioning of Delhi Chief Minister important in this entire matter? Because remember, in the K. Kavita remand paper, it was very, very clearly mentioned that K. Kavita was definitely in touch with the Delhi Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister, and also the Enforcement Directorate has already come on record that Arvind Kejriwal is the kingpin, could be the kingpin of this entire alleged scam, and that is the reason why the Enforcement Directorate does not want to waste any more time, and hence they have started questioning. What will eventually happen, that is something that remains to be seen. But yes, Rapid Action Force has been called in by the Delhi Police is what we can confirm, and this has been called in as it is expected that there could be protests that could break out outside the residence of the Chief Minister by the workers of the Aam Aadmi Party, and hence to maintain that law and order, Rapid Action Force has been deployed. We are still awaiting for a confirmation if at all. The Enforcement Directorate has also brought the team of CRPF that it generally takes along with it during raids. Once the CRPF team is also deployed, then it could be more and more probable that strict action could actually be taken against the Delhi Chief Minister. It remains to be seen how will the Chief Minister respond to the questions that are being asked by the...
Right, we've just got an update from Arunima. Arunima, there is more. The ED wants to take Mr. Kejriwal along with it.
Yes, the Enforcement Directorate investigating officer feels that at the Chief Minister's residence, the questioning is not happening properly. They want to question him at the ED office. Now, this has been part of their 9 summons that they have sent as well. They've repeatedly asked Kejriwal to come to ED office. His stance has been that I'm available on video conferencing, but the EDIO had taken a call that for questioning on video conferencing is not possible. The PMLA is very clear. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act says that the questioning will happen at the IO's office, which will be the ED headquarters in this case. It will be videographed and it will be recorded, and that evidence will be kept. So that being reiterated by the investigating team, that they would want the Chief Minister to go to the ED headquarters and questioning to continue there. Once again, I have to point out to the precedent that has been recently set in the case of Kavita. Similarly, the IO had gone there, similar searches had been carried out, and the IO felt that the questioning must continue at the ED headquarters. Because K. Kavita was not willing, so arrest memo was served, and without transit remand, she was brought to Delhi and produced in court in the next 15 hours or so. So that precedent is being underlined, even though ED headquarters is extremely tight-lipped about what is their next course of action as far as need for custodial interrogation is concerned.
Well, Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party has also tweeted कि लोकसभा चुनाव से ठीक पहले अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करने की बहुत बड़ी साजिश चल रही है. He writes, केजरीवाल जी के साथ करोड़ों लोगों का आशीर्वाद है, कोई बाल भी भाका नहीं कर सकता. दिल्ली और पंजाब में हुए शानदार कामों की चर्चा आज पूरी दुनिया में हो रही है. केजरीवाल के शरीर को गिरफ्तार कर सकते हो, लेकिन केजरीवाल की सोच को नहीं. नाउ आतिशी, सौरभ भारद्वाज एंड नाउ राघव चड्डा आर सेइंग यू कैन अरेस्ट केजरीवाल, यू कैन टेक हिम अवे फिजिकली, बट द आइडिया दैट इज अरविंद केजरीवाल, you cannot shut that down and you cannot take that away. So you cannot arrest that idea. So has the Aam Aadmi Party leadership somewhere resigned to the fact that Arvind Kejriwal will be taken into ED custody today? That's the question. They are alleging that they are all out there to arrest. So far the ED has never not even mentioned the word arrest. They are saying, Mr. Kejriwal, as per the PMLA and the clauses under which you have got to be summoned and questioned, you have to come to the ED office because you need to be questioned as per procedure. The questioning will be videographed. There cannot be a conversation by teleconference or remote, and it is not convenient for us to come interrogate you or question you at your residence. So you have to come with us to your residence. Now we've got the RAF deployment outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Akash Sharma now just getting us these details. These are live visuals of now some increased police bandobast present there, senior officials, and it looks like RAF and already in action gear. These are visuals that we've got in action gear. RAF police personnel are also deployed. More than 4 buses as claimed by Atishi as she was speaking to the media outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence, and there you go. These are live pictures that are coming through at this point. The allegation that this is happening right ahead of the elections, ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. If we look at the timeline, the first summon was given to Mr. Kejriwal back on November 2nd, 2023. 9 summons that he skipped in this matter. November 2nd, 2023, Kejriwal skips the first ED summons and he goes for a roadshow in Madhya Pradesh. At that time, the excuse was there are elections there. Now the argument is that there are elections impending, but 9 summons between November to March already. Arunima with us. Yes, Arunima.
So I just want to point out what the ED officials have said to the point that we're just making, Anand. As far as the timing of all these searches are concerned, what ED is saying is that these searches and these summons are not being thought of by the IO just now. Like you have been pointing out, since November, ED has repeatedly sent summons to Arvind Kejriwal, and matter has come to this point where Lok Sabha elections have been announced and they're just round the corner. April 19th is when the first phase, and these scenes are coming out from the ED, from the Arvind Kejriwal residence where ED is present. ED officials are pointing out that this can't be called political because we have not pushed matter to this moment. We have been wanting to question Arvind Kejriwal for some time now, but it is he who evaded summon, and because the High Court today, the Delhi High Court today refused to intervene and did not give any interim protection as was sought, the IO's action is perfectly within the ambit of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Now, when ED officials were asked that Kejriwal's legal team is wanting to knock at the doors of the Supreme Court, what ED officials are saying is that is perfectly within their legal right. They have the right to go ask for protection from the Supreme Court, but till the time there is a stay order from Supreme Court against ED or there is some kind of interim protection, the ED IO's action is perfectly legal under PMLA.
Well, there is high drama. There is Saurabh Bhardwaj speaking again.
और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के घर के सामने आई है और जिस तरीके से यहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, ऐसा प्रतीत हो रहा है कि उनको तुरंत जो है ईडी गिरफ्तार करके ले जाना चाह रही है। हालांकि शुरू में ये कहा जा रहा था कि सिर्फ सम्मन देने आए हैं, मगर मुझे लगता है कि ये बात झूठ है। सम्मन देने का सिर्फ एक बहाना है। अंदर सर्च चल रही है। मुख्यमंत्री जी के और उनके ऑफिस के लोगों के पास फ़ोन का एक्सेस नहीं है, बिना फ़ोन के हैं, और अंदर सर्च ऑपरेशन जो है ईडी का चल रहा है। अब वो सही है, गलत है, मगर अरेस्ट करने की तैयारी अब पूरी तरीके से देखी जा सकती है। जितना डर अरविंद केजरीवाल को आज भारत की सत्ता को से लग रहा है, भारत की सत्ता को लग रहा है, अरविंद जी से लग रहा है, ये बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और ये एक अत्याचार है। ये एक छोटी सी पार्टी जो अभी आई, उसको कुचलने की, उसको ख़त्म करने की पूरी केंद्र सरकार अपनी पूरी ताकत से उनको ख़त्म करने की कोशिश कर रही है। मैं फिर ये कहूँगा, अरविंद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार आप कर लोगे, मगर उनकी सोच को आप गिरफ्तार नहीं कर पाओगे। जितना अत्याचार करोगे, उनकी सोच उतनी ज़्यादा गली गली मोहल्ले मोहल्ले में फैलेगी।
Thank you, sir. Right, that was Saurabh Bharadwaj once again saying all indications are that Arvind Kejriwal is not just being questioned inside, that he is, the grounds are being readied for him to be taken into custody. Now, internally, the inside sources telling our reporters here at News 18, Arunima and Anshul getting us the information that the ED team has said that we need to take you to our office and question you there. Now, will that be with a formal arrest registry, or are they asking the Home Minister to cooperate and go along with them? Now, both are two different aspects, ladies and gentlemen. So, we'll wait for the developments. But so far, there is solid, heavy bandobast, high drama outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. AAP, MLAs and some of the supporters and workers trying to get there. But there is a clear cordon that's been created with a heavy presence of Delhi police and also some RAF personnel. Ilesh Shukla, lawyer in the Supreme Court, Piyush Joshi, political analyst, Ravula Sridhar Reddy, spokesperson of the BRS, and Charu Pragya of the BJP with us. Namaste and Jai Hind, and thank you for joining us on short notice here on the right stand, but it's all happening as we speak, minute by minute. Mr. Ilesh Shukla, how do you see? The court has said that they will not intervene. The court, the Delhi High Court today, after a long hearing, said we will not at this stage interfere in the proceedings. How do you interfere?
The High Court has rightly said that they will not interfere. The reason being, the ED is a statutory authority. Now the number of summons have been issued by the ED, and Arvind Kejriwal is deliberately shying away from appearing before the ED. So no court, including even the Supreme Court, has now passed the detailed guidelines with respect to the honor of this summons and the warrants. So you are the chief minister of a state. Instead of appearing before the enforcement director, you are deliberately shying away. What does that mean?
Piyush Joshi?
Well, I'm not going to get into the legal aspects of it because I'm not a lawyer, I'm a physician by profession. So I think it is best left to the courts and the lawyers to determine whether it is legally correct or incorrect. What I am here to discuss is the larger debate, because if you look at it, today we had the top brass of the Congress party, organizing a press conference saying that their accounts have been frozen. So, enlighten me if you can. This is how the democracy functions, that you freeze the accounts of the largest political party at the eve of the largest democratic exercise, that is the Lok Sabha election. And you try to arrest. I'm not sure whether he's going to be arrested or not, but you try to raid the premises of the convener of the fastest growing political party, which also is a national party, and who's going to give you a tough fight in Punjab and Delhi, at least if not in Haryana and Gujarat. So it's a sad day for me as a person, as a supporter of Aam Aadmi Party, as a supporter of free and fair elections and democracy. We have seen what the Enforcement Directorate did in case of electoral bonds. It worked as an executive arm of the Bharatiya Janata Party. It raided the premises to facilitate the funding for the Bharatiya Janata Party through the electoral bond route. And now it is, to the plain eye, it is very clearly visible. The activity in the cases on the opposition leaders versus the activity in cases of Hemant Biswa Sarma and Ajit Dada Pawar and likes of them.
See, you can draw parallels as to what happened with them to what happened with that, but you cannot ignore some fact.
Why can't
you
we?
can,
When
you must draw.
We are
Please draw.
discussing the political aspect.
One
we're
minute,
not
one minute,
discussing
one
the
minute,
legal
Piyush Joshi.
aspect.
1 minute, Piyush Joshi. But you should also accept the facts as they are. It's very convenient to say that this is happening on the cusp of the Lok Sabha elections. But the first summons to Mr. Kejriwal was way back on the 2nd of November 2023. At that time, Mr. Kejriwal skipped the summons and went for a roadshow ahead of the elections in Madhya Pradesh, where the Aam Aadmi Party lost its deposit on most of the seats. Challenge in Gujarat state as a Gujarat Assembly elections, the AAP lost its deposit on all of the seats. Now, Arvind Kejriwal skipped the second ED summons on the 21st of December 2023. At that time, he said, I have to go for Vipassana. I've been doing it for 3 decades now, so I cannot skip it. I have to go for Vipassana. So at that time, it was Vipassana, December 21st. January 3rd, 2024, he cited Republic Day, Rajya Sabha elections and Republic Day celebrations, preparations on the 3rd of January. Then, 18 January, he arrived in Goa for a 3-day visit but skipped the summons again. 2nd February, staged a protest against Chandigarh mayoral polls but skipped the ED summons against him. Asked to appear on Feb 26th. And Kejriwal skipped the 6th ED summons. 6th ED summons. And AAP says ED should wait for a court order. 7th ED summon, 26th Feb. 4th of March, ED wants to arrest and not question. That's what the Aam Aadmi Party said. Sir, from November to now, the excuses have changed from the Aam Aadmi Party, not from the Enforcement Directorate, who have steadfast on the fact that we want to call you because we want to question you. Ananya Bhatnagar with us now. Ananya, can you hear me? We are getting the live output from where you are.
You can see
Take us through the pictures, yeah.
Right. This is Kejriwal's residence, and you can see the heavy police deployment. In fact, the RAF2 has been deployed here. A very heavy police battalion deployment here so that no kind of a law and order situation erupts. But the clear question that remains is, Anand, 9 summons, all of them skipped, approached the trial court, approached the High Court, no relief, no interim protection from arrest, and finally the Enforcement Directorate's team reaching the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. The Enforcement Directorate before the High Court cites that he's somebody who has flouted the law even after being a public servant, even after being the Chief Minister of the National Capital Territory and being a public figure. He should not have done so. Finally, the Enforcement Directorate action and now reaching the Delhi Chief Minister's residence, and as Anshul was actually reporting very clearly and categorically, his questioning in this particular case has already begun. Remember, the charges against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal are, number one, that he is somebody who had asked Ms. K. Kavita to pay almost 100 crores, of which 50 crores she had asked Mr. Manguta Reddy, who was an MP from the YSRCP, to get done, while the other half was being arranged by her own CA and her own team members. Other allegations against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, is that he had called Mr. Vijay Nair as his own boy. Vijay Nair seems to be one of the main conspirators in this particular case. Not only that, he had, very clearly and categorically,
he was the Chief Minister.
He was the Chief Minister, and the excise policy when it had come in, though it was Mr. Manish Sisodia was the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, but very clearly and categorically he also had a role to play, is what the ED goes on to say. In fact, the ED also says that various kickbacks were received, and it was a conspiracy hatched by the top leaders of AAP, Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh, already inside jail, while Arvind Kejriwal was the next one. He had been given 9 summons, all of them skipped. Tried to, approach, in fact, the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court, though, issued notice to his petition challenging those summons. But a tough questions to ask. The big question was, why have you not appeared so far before then?
So huge drama as Ananya is getting us those details. Now the CRPF along with the RAF have been deployed at the residence, outside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. RAF has been deployed at the first barricade where people are being stopped. CRPF deployed right outside the gate of the Chief Minister. This means that Mr. Kejriwal will be taken to the Enforcement Directorate office. Now, if he cooperates and he willingly goes with them, then the ED will take him along with him. If he refuses refuses to cooperate, then they will have to take him into custody and then take him along with them. And perhaps that would be under the custody or detention of the Enforcement Directorate. What's going to happen next? We'd wait and watch very carefully. Quickly taking you through some of the reasons why this has come to fruition or come to pass today. First is November 2023 onwards, Mr. Kejriwal and his team have been scoffing at the ED, calling the ED names and refusing to acknowledge the summons or adhere to the summons. 9 summons have been sent, multiple representations at the courts, no relief so far. The ED team is trying, the CM's team, as we are given to understand, the legal team is trying to ready an urgent mention in the notice and bring it to the notice of the Honorable Chief Justice of India and the Supreme Court. They are in touch with the Supreme Court registrar. But so far, these are visuals from outside Kejriwal's residence where AAP supporters are now chanting slogans in favor of Kejriwal. AAP MLAs who had rushed to Mr. Kejriwal's residence. Now we are given to, we'll try and see if the Delhi mayor has tried to come there. The Delhi mayor, again, an Aam Aadmi Party candidate, nominee. Now the Delhi mayor is present, so slowly more supporters, more AAP workers trying to come there. There is sloganeering and already one carefully crafted statement that is coming through from every single MLA or political prominent voice of the Aam Aadmi Party, that you may take away Arvind Kejriwal physically, but you cannot arrest the idea of Kejriwal.
अभी तक ये जानकारी है कि 6 से 8 जो ऑफिसर्स हैं वो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के निवास के अंदर हैं और सर्च जारी है। मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ, बार पूरी पैरामेडिक फोर्स लगा दी गई है, इतनी पुलिस लगा दी गई है और पुलिस आने से रोक रही है। मुझे लगता है एक दिल्ली, राजधानी दिल्ली के सीएम के निवास के बाहर ये सब चीज हो रही है, पुलिस लगाना, कोई ऐसी चीज या दिल्ली की जनता का जो प्यार है, दिल्ली की जनता का जो आशीर्वाद है, वो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के साथ बना हुआ है। दिल्ली में दिल्ली की जनता जानती है कि जो केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार किया जा सकता है पर उनके विचारों को गिरफ्तार नहीं किया जा सकता, जो उनकी काम की राजनीति है उनको नहीं रोका जा सकता।
But ma'am, 9 summons give very clear and categorically. High Court also
देखिए,
want to say that no coercive action would be, not granted to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Is it not flouting of the law?
See, this entire matter is going on into the court, and still today the court, the court has given the notice to the ED, and ED is supposed to answer on 22nd of April. So why there is so hurry? Why there is so hurry, and why such kind of raids in the capital city of Delhi with the CM is happening? And see how much of the police has been deployed.
But ma'am, if we see the trajectory of events, there were 9 summons.
देखिए, जिस प्रकार से अभी तक जैसे कार्रवाई पूरी करी गई है और आज भी जैसी कार्रवाई चल रही है, तो उम्मीद है उन्हें गिरफ्तार किया जा सकता है। पर मैं आज मीडिया के माध्यम से बताना चाहती हूं कि दिल्ली की जनता का प्यार और आशीर्वाद माननीय मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के साथ बना हुआ है और साथ ही गिरफ्तार किया जा सकता है पर उनके विचारों को गिरफ्तार नहीं किया जा सकता, काम की राजनीति को रोका नहीं जा सकता।
Idea of Arvind Kejriwal or the Soch cannot be arrested even if you arrest Arvind Kejriwal physically is something which all AAP leaders, including the Delhi Mayor Shelly Oberoi, are saying. The inside information, ladies and gentlemen, as confirmed by Atishi also, is that all Aam Aadmi Party workers or aides or helps for the Delhi Chief Minister, that is his staff, and including him, their phones have been taken away. So they don't have access to their phones. So the AAP leaders outside have no information of what is happening inside. We are given to understand that the Enforcement Directorate is conducting a search because they had a valid search warrant in their Delhi Chief Minister's residence, and they are now intending to take Mr. Arvind Kejriwal along with them, and as per procedures written under the PMLA or stated under the PMLA, they want to question him at the ED office, and that questioning will be videographed. November 2nd, 2023, that was the first summon was given to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Since then, 9 summons that have been brazenly evaded, rebuffed and even rebuked by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party so far. And that's the reason why we are seeing this development today on a day when the Delhi High Court also refused to give any interim relief to Mr. Kejriwal from coercive action, or that means arrest or being taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate. Rahula Sridhar Reddy of the BRS with us, Charu Pragya of the BJP with us, even as allegations are coming that you are putting democracy in jail, Ms. Charu Pragya. When I say you, the BJP, by using the tools, the institutional tools at its beck and call as alleged by the opposition?
Anand, good evening. See, this is something which CM Kejriwal ji and the Aam Aadmi Party has gotten onto themselves. Absolutely that and nothing else. Who asked them to formulate a liquor policy that only favors a few? Who asked them to allow blacklisted companies to also bid? Who told them to raise the commission up to 12% and yet cause loss to the exchequer? Now, Supreme Court has made an observation. There is a money trail of 350 crores which can be traced to the Aam Aadmi Party coffers. It went so far ahead as to say that maybe the entire political party should be made a party in this case. That's how scathing the remarks have been. The ministers of Aam Aadmi Party are not being given bail, and while they were out, they were damaging and destroying evidence repeatedly, and we have discussed that enough times. Vijay Nair has spoken against the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including Mr. Kejriwal. Dinesh Arora has done that. K. Kavita has done that. Now is the time when the nose is tightening, and I find these kind of rhetorics which are being used by the Aam Aadmi Party leaders right now very, very sad, also hilarious. People are not falling for this ploy. People will not fall for this ploy because the evidence points otherwise. And if you were such a fair man, why did you not turn up on the first summon itself? Today you question the timing, but the timing was entirely in your hand. You controlled the timing. You could have turned up after the first summon, but you didn't, not after the second or the third. It has taken 9 summons and today for the High Court of Delhi to rebuke you and refuse to grant you protection, that finally ED is at your doorstep.
Well, we've just got an update and I'm going to check if Arunima is with us. The Enforcement Directorate has seized 4 or 5 phones and 2 tablets from the Chief Minister's residence. So they have not only restricted access, they have seized them and they have taken it under their possession, ladies and gentlemen, even as more supporters are coming through. Let's just quickly get a word from Rahula Sridhar Reddy. Mr. Reddy, thank you very much. Let me ask you this, for speaking with us. Let me ask you this. It's all coming through because there were certain members from the South Bloc who have turned approvers and who said that it is Mr. Kejriwal who made that demand of 100 crore rupees, of which 50 crore were paid via a YSRCP member.
See, I mean, there are many statements actually that are being leaked or said to the press. Every day a new number comes out. But what exactly has happened, nobody knows till now. Only ED and BJP believed in it. Even today, we say that all these numbers and losses that are portrayed are imaginary. And what going by the visuals I'm seeing on your channel at the Delhi Chief Minister's residence, I don't think, rather I'll be surprised if they don't arrest him. But this is kind of a rerun what happened at Kavita's residence. They just today the court also has actually posted this case for 22nd of April for hearing for a response of ED for what Sri Kejriwal has asked for. Even then, and that's what I'm also saying.
But the court has not given a stay. The court has not said that the ED cannot proceed.
Has not given a stay.
And neither has the court given any protection as sought by Mr. Kejriwal and his lawyer against any coercive action.
Understood.
The first summons to Mr. Kejriwal was in November 2023. The second summon, the excuse given is that I want to go for Vipassana. The first time the excuse given was I have got elections in Madhya Pradesh and I have got to go for a road show. The third excuse given in January is that I have got Rajya Sabha elections and Republic Day preparations. So who was giving excuses?
Anand, I will not be surprised if BJP or anyone say the maximum summons can be given by ED or 9. After that they will arrest. I mean, look at the timing of this arrest. Look at the timing of arrest of the Kavita ji. Exactly a day before the announcement of the poll schedule. Now it is Kejriwal ji. So it's clear that during the elections time, they don't want us to campaign properly or focus on the elections. They wanted to weaken the opposition, or they wanted to, kind of create a phobia in the, opposition opponents. So this is the plan that, is being implemented. Unfortunately, ED, CBI, IT is being used to, threaten the opposition leaders. Why is there only one case?
Let Ms. Charu Pragya respond to this allegation.
I want to ask you, Anand,
Yes, please.
Is there only one case active in the entire country from ED side? There are 4 or 5 leaders from Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena faction were given summons. Cases were booked on them by ED, Not even 1 year. You can see, the moment they joined Shinde's faction, now ED is silent. Cases are not active. Nobody served them summons. No arrest made. I mean, what is this? This is a selective targeting of the opposition leaders.
Okay, so the opposition or the leaders can ignore summons by the ED. They can call them names. They can say an independent body. Its integrity can be questioned. They can be laughed at, rebuked, and scoffed at, and said that I don't care for your summons. All of that can be said by leaders who are summoned. But the Enforcement Directorate, after 9 summons, tells somebody you have to come to our office as per the PMLA procedure, so that we can question you at the investigating officer's office while it is all videographed, because that's the stated procedure as per the PMLA. That is all targeting of leaders. That is unfair. Opposition leaders can do whatever they want, or the leaders who are being summoned, they can do whatever they want, but the Enforcement Directorate cannot follow protocol.
That I am saying every individual, every citizen of this country has a right to question the authorities and question the procedures that they follow. Even the courts have admitted the plea of Kavita ji yesterday. The challenge of
admitting a plea does not mean that you've got to stay, sir. Admitting a plea does not mean that the ED is restricted from doing its job. There is no court order that restricts the Enforcement Directorate from following procedure or doing its job. Charu Pragya, quick response, and then we'll have to take a break before we come back to this.
I'll be very quick. So now this narrative is very loose, and I take great offense at the opposition leaders painting the lakhs of employees working in the ED like this to suit their convenience. Now PMLA says a certain thing, you are supposed to follow that. Another very important thing for you to remember here is that if all the arrows did not point towards CM Kejriwal, then you could have said any of this. But before your alliances happened, before the India alliance happened, even the Congress party was attacking Aam Aadmi Party on the Delhi liquor scam. That is a fact. Your favorite people have turned approvers. That is a fact. Money trail has been found and it has been used to fund party programs. That also is a fact. And every observation of the Supreme Court, you take it at convenience. See, what they're doing here, Anand, is if the Supreme Court passes an order which is in their favor, in their opinion, for example, they will support it. When it doesn't suit them, they don't support it. And I'm going to quote my Honorable Home Minister here and tell you that only 5% of the ED investigations are on political people. Merely 5%. 95% of the times, the ED is doing its job, which is attacking black money, and that's exactly what is happening here as well.
You are arresting us, but you're not arresting them. Does not absolve those who are being pulled up by the Enforcement Directorate of wrongdoing. And this is after there are others who have turned approver, and under the PMLA and certain stated procedures, which the court has also been convinced of, and that's why there's no interim relief that's been provided to the Delhi Chief Minister. And you can just go back over the last since November till date, the utterances of the Delhi Chief Minister himself. The ED very clearly saying we are not calling the national convener of the Aam Aadmi Party. We are calling Arvind Kejriwal the individual. And that's something that the ED stated in court very clearly today. We're going to take a very short break. There's more drama there. Media has been asked to clear the area right outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. It's all coming to some very, very intense drama there. Does Mr. Kejriwal agree to cooperate? And will he be just taken along by the ED? Or will he be detained and then taken by the Enforcement Directorate? Stay with us on this continuous coverage. We'll be right back.
Co-powered by team. We have seen standoffs when the Enforcement Directorate has knocked on Kejriwal's doors or the Delhi government's doors to arrest other top ministers. So this is now becoming a recurrent theme. And of course, Mr. Kejriwal has approached the courts seeking clarity on whether he can even present himself before the Enforcement Directorate. And unfortunately for him, he has got no protection from arrest, at least from the High Court. He can, of course, still move the Supreme Court. Not satisfied with this order. But I just want to quickly go across to Arunima. Arunima, a big jolt from the Delhi High Court earlier today, and the ED wasting no time. The ED wasting no time.
Yes, and Enforcement Directorate is confirming that yes, their officials are at Arvind Kejriwal's doorstep, but just so that there is no confusion, because in the past there has always been, identity crisis, multiple agencies probing these cases. But ED is confirming that yes, indeed, it is their officials who are there. the clarity that is being given by Enforcement Directorate at this stage is that after what happened at High Court, the investigating team, had no legal bar on them from proceeding as per what the IO thought was best under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Section 50. Notice has been given in two cases. One is the liquor policy scam, where 9 summons have gone to Kejriwal. 10th summon is on its way, we are told, by the Enforcement Directorate. Kejriwal refuses to appear again. There are other legal remedies that the ED is already looking at. But there's also a Delhi Jal Board case in which he was asked to appear on the 18th and he refused. What the presence of Delhi police DCP rank officers there also means is that the ED is apprehending. There could be some kind of a law and order issue. We have seen, be it the arrest of Hemant Soren, or be it the presence of ED officials at Sandesh Khari, or in Tamil Nadu, they've had to rely on central forces for the protection of ED officials. In this case also, we are waiting for ED to officially tell us why are they there, under what case they are serving, their summons or proceeding against Arvind Kejriwal. But they are moving very swiftly and underlining that there is no legal bar on the IO, and that's why these actions are being taken.
Well, you never know. Viewers, we started with the Congress and we moved down the India ranks to the Aam Aadmi Party. What a day it is turning out to be. Unprecedented day, viewers. I was giving you the hard facts on the Congress, and guess what happens? Kejriwal gets a hard knock on the door from the Enforcement Directorate. And we are told that another summons has been served today, the 10th in the liquor gate scan. The alleged, let me be very clear here, because all these parties have become extremely litigious, viewers. You put a word edgeway here, wrong foot there, that's it. You will be called in, you will be hauled, and it's worse. Democracy is dying, viewers. It is dying in a large number of states where the opposition, and trust me, I know because I'm suffering on those accounts, but that's a different matter. I'm not the news here, but just watch these scenes. The 10th time the ED knocks to question Mr. Kejriwal. He has no protection from arrest today. The ED team has now reached the residence of Arvind Kejriwal. What is expected, we don't know, but viewers, there at the Kejriwal residence, we'll keep the visuals on one side because this is an important story also. At 7:30, I was going to bring you more details on this story. Why, viewers? Because today, the court has denied relief from arrest to Arvind Kejriwal, and you can see the guards there. And there's a negotiation going on between the ED team. ED has issued, viewers, almost a dozen now summons to Kejriwal. And with the court stepping up to the plate and saying, no way, can we give you relief from arrest? Viewers, anything could happen. Kejriwal could be arrested. Remember, 3 of his cabinet ministers are still in jail. 1 member of parliament of the Rajya Sabha in jail. None of them have got relief. They've applied for bail time and again, but got no relief. We're going to go straight across to our reporter. Anshul, what's happening? Anshul, what's happening?
So yes, a team of Enforcement Directorate.
So the drama continues, ladies and gentlemen, outside Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Heavy bandobast there, Delhi police officials, CRPF, RAF, a 3-level cordon that's now been created. The media has been cleared away. They've been put behind the first barricade. We'll try and go down to Ananya to get the latest update. He's right there live. We'll try and connect with him in just a bit. Arunima has been tracking the story, so as Anshul. We'll try and get you the latest. What we are given to understand at this point, media being cordoned off, phones to tablets, all being seized from Mr. Kejriwal, his family, and also the staff members present there. Some of it has been confiscated, 4 or 5 phones and 2 tablets. That's what we're given to understand. The ED wants to take him to their office and question him there. So that's what they want to do. If he cooperates, they will take him. If he does not willingly cooperate, then they may detain him and under detention take him to the ED office, where after further questioning, which will be videographed as per the provisions of the PMLA and as per the procedures outlined there, and thereafter we'll have to see what happens. But this is a late Thursday evening drama that's unfolding outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. The first summon that was sent to him was in November 2023, 2nd November 2023. 9 summons that were ignored. And no interim relief by the Delhi High Court after a day-long hearing in the Delhi High Court by the division bench of the Delhi High Court. After that, we are seeing these pictures unfold out, this scenario unfold outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. Daniel Francis, political analyst with us. Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst with us. Ravula Sridhar Reddy of the BRS stays on. Kapil Madan, lawyer with us. And Charu Pragya of the BJP also with us. Charu Pragya, one of the aspects, the ED, in terms of the ED action, the arrests that are being made, the opposition is saying all of this is being timed to the elections. Be it Kavita Kavlakuntala, be it Arvind Kejriwal, the Congress also saying with the income tax freezing the Congress's accounts.
See, exactly what we had been discussing a little while ago, Anand, because the timing has been controlled by the Aam Aadmi Party completely. If in November Mr. Kejriwal had turned up on the first summons, they wouldn't be saying this today. Or for the second summons, he prioritized a Vipassana, something that people would do in their vacation during a break, over turning up for questioning in an issue as sensitive as this one. Now, we have to also look at why this Delhi liquor scam is that important. It's not merely money being siphoned off. It is about more number of stores being opened. It is about the legal drinking age of young children coming down. It is about a situation of COVID where Delhi was dying because of lack of oxygen, where the ministers thought it more prudent to give money to liquor barons than to spend it on their healthcare structure. And RTI reports are going to, tell you what I'm telling you again. No hospitals were made, no efforts were made. Even today, the narrative that they're trying to float is an entirely false one. It is 100% untrue. If a chief minister is guilty of a crime, they need to pay for it. Now, Lalu Yadav had also gone to jail. Hemant Soren actually wrote a mine to himself, allotted it to himself on paper. He has to go to jail. Gone are the days where political patronage is going to protect anyone, not even a chief minister. And he's obviously been behaving in a way which makes him seem more and more guilty as the days pass.
Now we're going to understand Bhagwant Mann is going to set off from Punjab and touch down in the national capital sometime on Friday. So the drama continues. Syed Asad Abbas.
Anand, firstly, I was listening to Charu Pragya, the BJP spokesperson. I think, ma'am, you said that he's guilty of the crime. Respected ma'am, there are courts and there are better courts. They have much better wisdom than you and I. The Delhi High Court or the Supreme High Court. So therefore, you and I are nobody to pronounce him guilty or not. The courts will decide the same. Also, Anand Saab, let me bring to your notice, sir, it is very interesting how the opposition is being targeted. Modi ji once called NCP a naturally corrupt party, but same Ajit Pawar gang is in his party now. So in the case of Eknath Shinde, why is it that BJP today has become a washing machine? Any opposition neta joins your party, there are no more summons by the ED, silent on the case, no progression on the case. This shows that the Bharatiya Janata Party today is not able to beat Arvind Kejriwal on ground. They've lost 3 consecutive elections in Delhi. The same reason why they want to arrest, they want to attack the opposition leaders who are strong in their respective states. Why? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party cannot beat them on ground, on elections. They cannot beat them with the public's mandate. So therefore, CBI, ED, IT today has become caged parrots.
How many seats did the Aam Aadmi Party win at the Lok Sabha elections in 2014, in 2019? Mr. Syed Asad Abbas, how many seats did the Aam Aadmi Party, do you think, is it going to win at the Lok Sabha elections in 2024? The news in Punjab, the News 18 mega opinion poll shows a rout of the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab at the Lok Sabha elections. So let's not make tall claims and compare apples to oranges. We are talking Lok Sabha elections. That's the allegation you're making now. At the the first summons on the 2nd of November 2023, Mr. Kejriwal went for a roadshow in Madhya Pradesh ahead of the Vidhan Sabha elections in Madhya Pradesh. How many seats did the Aam Aadmi Party win in Madhya Pradesh, sir? And in how many seats did they were they even able to save their deposits? Please look through your numbers and tell us. Again, the second summons that came to him, he said he wants to go for Vipassana in Punjab. And please also quote on record what Mr. Kejriwal has called the ED and alleged that he is. Since you are saying that Mr. Kejriwal is being unfairly targeted by the ED, has Mr. Kejriwal walked the talk as far as the citizen's responsibility when he is summoned or he or she is summoned? Kapil Madan.
Give you a very quick response to this. I will make my, two, political and legal points here. Now, legally, why do you arrest an individual? You arrest an individual because you want to ensure that the investigation happens in a proper manner, the evidence is collected in a proper manner, evidence, are not concealed or destroyed. Now, here is the case where, ED has admittedly sent about 8 summons. Now,
9 summons, sir.
Yes, 9 summons. Now the point is, if ED already has material against the CM, then why would they wait for 9 odd summons and choose this action after the 9 summons? Don't you think it goes against the basic tenet of the investigation? That
Shouldn't you be crediting the ED that this is the Delhi Chief Minister in question? 9 summons. The same 9 summons were given to Mr. Hemant Soren also. People in constitutional posts, there has been a extra long rope that's been given, Mr. Kapil Madan. Don't try and turn the argument around and make the ED the villain because that's convenient for you. One should actually say, why did the ED wait for 9 summons?
Anand, if you know the basics of criminal jurisprudence,
what are the laws under PMLA, sir? What are the procedure under PMLA? What is the procedure for interrogation under the PMLA?
Okay.
Since you are a lawyer,
the procedure now. Yes. Now let me just give you the procedure. First, you have to see whether there is a predicate offence or not. Second, you have to see whether that predicate offence generates any proceeds of crime or not. Third, you have to see whether the proposed accused has done any act to do the layering, integration, or what we generally say as,
What did the ED tell the court today, sir?
So allow me, ED just said Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is not appearing. My point here is very simple.
When the ED was questioned very clearly, do you have documents to prove Mr. Kejriwal's involvement? Did the ED reply in the affirmative in the Honorable High Court or not?
Anand, you can't change the goalposts. You have.
No, you are trying it, sir. I'm keeping it focused, sir. I'm ensuring that it stays on the legal aspects, sir.
No, Anand. You asked me the procedure. I gave you the procedure.
No, the procedure under PMLA is, sir, that the investigating officer has to question the accused inside the ED office, but the entire procedure will be videographed. It cannot be done. It cannot be done via teleconference, nor can it be done at the accused residence.
Now, Anand, so you are making it clear that till this date, ED does not have any material that justifies that Arvind Kejriwal has committed any offence. Because had it been the case, you would be arresting him straight away. There would no questioning.
Sir, the ED is actually going the extra mile here, asking Mr. Kejriwal to cooperate, asking Mr. Kejriwal to follow procedure. The ED is still saying, we just want to question you at our office, please come along with us. Who is saying I will not come? Who is saying that you give me interim relief from coercive arrest? Who was denied any interim relief from coercive action by the Honorable Division Bench of the Delhi High Court?
Mr. Anand, I believe every citizen of this country has the right to avail his legal remedies, and Mr.
So when they are denied the legal remedies, can you stop the ED from exercising its own legal right? Because there is no stay against any action by the Delhi High Court.
Anand, I never said this. All I was trying to raise question on the manner and the time that the ED has already lost in reaching this stage. All I am saying is, now sometimes you really want to investigate, sometimes you want to play to the galleries. To my understanding, what happens is, today we saw...
What has the ED said in the last 9 summons, and what has Mr. Kejriwal said and called the ED in the last 9 summons, sir? Every time there has been a summon, what has the Aam Aadmi Party and Mr. Kejriwal, what all have they called the Enforcement Directorate? So who was playing to the gallery and who was not, sir?
So now, Anand, yes. Now, if you, again, I would, take you to the basic of criminal jurisprudence. If someone is not complying with the summons, you have the options of getting NBW's non-bailable warrants issued against that person. You please explain me whether ED has issued or got any non-bailable warrants against Kejriwal or not.
That will be the next step, because if he forcefully, if he resists arrest, or if he is absconding, Mr. Kejriwal is not absconding. Mr. Kejriwal is present in Delhi. Mr. Kejriwal is at his residence. The ED is saying, you please come with us for questioning. If he refuses now, then there will be detention. It's a step-by-step procedure, sir.
No, Anand.
Or are you saying that the ED is giving Mr. Kejriwal an ultra-long rope? Are you upset with the ED for giving him an ultra-long rope?
No, I am not. I am neither upset nor I am happy. But I want to thank you because you made my point. Because you are saying ED has reached the residence of Mr. Kejriwal, and thereafter they will procure NBW. You can't.
No, they will not procure NBW. I never said that they will procure NBW thereafter. I said the next step is if he refuses, if he resists arrest. That will be the next step. Charu Pragya is.
Arrest and then you will issue.
1 minute. Daniel Francis has not spoken. Yes, Daniel Francis. Namaste, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. What a sad day for Indian politics. A lot of people I know who, when the India Against Corruption movement started, believed that there was some hope that institutional corruption in India would end, and supported. They came from different castes, different backgrounds, different political parties, and supported a movement. They built that movement. They supported that movement financially, and media was with that movement. And out of that movement comes Kejriwal, who has set very high standards for others, easily to blame others, without investigation, frame others and call others corrupt, is now, a victim of his own standards. In 10 years, we saw how Kejriwal has changed completely. Earlier, he said that he will not take Gadi, he will not take Bangla, he will give a very transparent government to us. He was an RTI activist, and there is absolutely no transparency on his part. If he is clean, why is he not joining the investigation? If this is political, why is he not joining the investigation at all? If he has nothing to hide, why is he not joining the investigation? And that raises a lot of suspicion and a mystery around his position on this scam. Is this a scam or not? I don't think people of India have made up their mind, but he should come clean. And if he's not done anything, he should not run away from the investigation, rather join it. And I'm sure that if there's nothing on his hands, the system will not go against him. This is a very, very sad day for all those who supported Kejriwal, who built Kejriwal, who voted for Kejriwal, who believed in him, that here is a man who's challenging the system from outside and will do so when he comes inside. He's having the same problem that other politicians in this country have.
Right, Daniel Francis, regret, I've got just updates coming through. I have to interrupt. Big updates coming through. Section 144 has been imposed outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. That's the update. And Arunima now telling us that the ED probe team, the inside news, ED probe team feels that the Delhi Chief Minister is being evasive. The Delhi Chief Minister is not cooperating. Arvind Kejriwal is not cooperating. Arvind Kejriwal is being evasive about questions that are being posed to him. The ED, that's what it feels. Is this now going to come where the ED says, no, Mr. Kejriwal, you have to come with us to our office. We need to question you at our office as per procedure. And if you resist, if you are evasive, then we will have to detain you. We'll have to see. We'll try and connect with Arunima in just a bit. Ananya is live with us from Mr. Kejriwal's residence, where our protesters have, our workers have come there and they're staging a protest, sitting there on the streets. They've been cordoned off, kept at a distance. Yes, Ananya, what's the scenario on ground?
Well, you can see right behind me, Anand, that, these people.
Though they are gathering in small, small gatherings. But what is very, very important to note, Anand, at this point in time is that as very clearly 9 summons skipped and PMLA, as for my legal understanding of court, very, very clearly and categorically, each summons Enforcement Directorate is a ground for small corporations. These are 9 summons that he has skipped. His doesn't own grade is responsible and legally, in fact, for any kind of a damage that is currently happening. You can see the visuals around the support of Kejriwal or Trump. I tried his residence and very clearly categorically, saying that arrest is illegal. But this is the people that are saying that the court have denied him any kind of a no-force action, any kind of a protection has been denied. Remember that he has already faced 2 proceedings with regards to skipping of summons, with regards to disobeying orders by a public servant under Section 174 of the IPC. He had to secure a bail after appearing before a court in those 2 complaints that were filed by the Enforcement Directorate. Even after that, another summons was issued to him by the Enforcement Directorate. He again did not appear. And before the court, the Delhi High Court Division Bench, headed by Justice Suresh Kumar Said and Justice Manoj Jain, very clearly asking him on the first day when the main petition was listed day before, that why did you not appear before the Enforcement Directorate? Even if you had an apprehension, why did you not appear before the Enforcement Directorate? If you had an apprehension, then since 2023, when these summons are being issued, why did you not go and approach a court challenging those particular summons until now? Or file an anticipatory bail
Right.
application.
I just want to get a confirmation. Ananya, has Section 144 been imposed around Mr. Kejriwal's residence? And also, Arunima, will try and connect with her. We're getting the inside news that the ED source is telling CNN News 18 that the probe team is feeling that the Delhi Chief Minister is being evasive. He is not answering questions. Arunima is joining us. Yes, Arunima.
On expected lines, isn't it, Anand? The Enforcement Directorate team once again is of the opinion that the questions that they are putting to the Delhi Chief Minister and the answers that are being given are not really the complete answers. That's what the ED team feels, that the answers, as they're calling it, are evasive. Some would say that the Chief Minister perhaps is not cooperating with the probe team. So the grounds are being built. In the past also, we have seen that when these are grounds built by the Enforcement Directorate, it ultimately leads the IO to take a decision that to get the evidence, custodial interrogation is required. The Aam Aadmi Party is already alleging that everything seems to be pointing out to the fact that the ED is wanting to arrest Arvind Kejriwal. And the latest bit of information that we are getting also seems to be indicating, and what we heard earlier also from the Enforcement Directorate, that ideally they would prefer to question the Chief Minister in their office at their headquarters, near central Delhi. And that's what they're saying even now, that they are asking questions of the Chief Minister. The phones have been taken away, the digital devices have been taken away. So those will be scrutinized as well. There will be data extraction carried out from these digital devices. But in the case of Manish Sisodia, they realized, the ED and the CBI, that the relevant phones were destroyed much before the sleuths went knocking.
Yes.
Perhaps that's also a reason why they feel that questioning at the ED office will yield more proof, more result.
Right. Now, Keshav Prasad Maurya has just tweeted saying, भ्रष्टाचार रूपी असुर का अंत करने वाला 2024 लोकसभा चुनाव है, फिर एक बार मोदी सरकार. Meanwhile, Delhi Minister Imran Hussain has said, it is very unfortunate. It's a conspiracy to stop the AAP and Arvind Kejriwal. People of Delhi love Arvind Kejriwal and they'll respond to the BJP. So it's becoming a political fist fight, ladies and gentlemen. But the tussle is right outside Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's residence, where we are given to understand that the Enforcement Directorate officials will, in a short while from now, they are expected to ask Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to accompany them to the ED office, where they would like to further question him, because so far sources tell us Mr. Kejriwal is being evasive. The ED officials, along with certain Delhi police officials present inside Mr. Kejriwal's residence, armed with a search warrant, and also there is no interim relief provided by the division bench of the Delhi High Court to Mr. Kejriwal via his legal team, who sought a stay or any protection from coercive action, interim relief from any coercive action, and that was denied to them. The ED was also not stopped from doing its job. It's high drama. Stay with us here at CNN News 18.
Yes, the Enforcement Directorate investigating officer feels that at the Chief Minister's residence, the questioning is not happening properly. They want to question him at the ED office. Now, this has been part of their 9 summons that they have sent as well. They've repeatedly asked Kejriwal to come to ED office. His stance has been that I'm available on video conferencing, but the ED-IO had taken a call that for questioning on video conferencing is not possible. The PMLA is very clear. The Prevention of Money Laundering Act says that the questioning will happen at the IO's office, which will be the ED headquarters in this case. It will be videographed and it will be recorded, and that evidence will be kept. So that being reiterated by the investigating team, that they would want the Chief Minister to go to the ED headquarters and questioning to continue there. Once again, I have to point out to the precedent that has been recently set in the case of K. Kavita. Similarly, the IO had gone there, similar searches had been carried out, and the IO felt that the questioning must continue at the ED headquarters. Because K. Kavita was not willing, so arrest memo was served, and without transit remand, she was brought to Delhi and produced in court in the next 15 hours or so. So that precedent is being underlined, even though ED headquarters is extremely tight-lipped about what is their next course of action as far as need for custodial interrogation is concerned.
Where Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party has also tweeted कि लोकसभा चुनाव से ठीक पहले अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करने की बहुत बड़ी साजिश चल रही है. He writes, केजरीवाल जी के साथ करोड़ों लोगों का आशीर्वाद है, कोई बाल भी भाका नहीं कर सकता. दिल्ली और पंजाब में हुए शानदार कामों की चर्चा आज पूरी दुनिया में हो रही है। केजरीवाल के शरीर को गिरफ्तार कर सकते हो, लेकिन केजरीवाल की सोच को नहीं। नाउ आतिशी, सौरभ भारद्वाज एंड नाउ राघव चड्डा आर सेइंग you can arrest Kejriwal, you can take him away physically, but the idea that is Arvind Kejriwal, you cannot shut that down and you cannot take that away. So you cannot arrest that idea. So has the Aam Aadmi Party leadership somewhere resigned to the fact that Arvind Kejriwal will be taken into ED custody today? That's the question. They are alleging that they are all out there to arrest. So far, the ED has never not even mentioned the word arrest. They are saying, Mr. Kejriwal, as per the PMLA and the clauses under which you have got to be summoned and questioned, you have to come to the ED office because you need to be questioned as per procedure. The questioning will be videographed. There cannot be a conversation by teleconference or remote, and it is not convenient for us to come interrogate you or question you at your residence. So you have to come with us to your residence. Now we've got the RAF deployment outside Arvind Kejriwal's residence. Akash Sharma now just getting us these details. These are live visuals of now some increased police bandobast present there, senior officials.
Good evening and welcome to Rastax. There is huge drama outside Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence as ED officials are questioning him in connection with the Liquor Gate probe. He's been questioned for the better part of the last couple of hours now. A little past 6 o'clock this evening, there was a team from the Enforcement Directorate that went to his residence and he's been questioned ever since. Remember, earlier this afternoon, the Chief Minister and his legal team had moved the Delhi High Court asking for interim protection from arrest or any kind of coercive action. A division bench of the Delhi High Court denied any kind of interim protection from arrest to the Chief Minister. Right now, he's being grilled, and we are given to understand by top ED sources, even as you see Aam Aadmi Party supporters and workers indulging in slogan shouting and protests, squatting outside the Chief Minister's residence, even though the Delhi police is saying that Section 144 has been imposed outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. The Enforcement Directorate sources are indicating to CNN News 18 that the Chief Minister is being evasive in his responses and also that he is not cooperating with the Enforcement Directorate. This, of course, is classic signs of any investigating agency, in this instance, the Enforcement Directorate, laying the ground for potentially arresting the Delhi Chief Minister. Remember, this is in connection with the Liquor Gate scandal, in which already his former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia is under arrest. Sanjay Singh, the Member of Parliament of the Aam Aadmi Party, he's already under arrest. A number of functionaries of the Aam Aadmi Party and other alleged middlemen are also under arrest for the last many years now in this case, and the net was slowly but surely closing in on the Chief Minister. These are live pictures of Aam Aadmi Party workers outside the Chief Minister's residence. Remember, the Chief Minister had skipped summons not once or twice, but as many as 9 times, including the latest one that was served to him this week. The first time he was issued summons in this case was back in November. So for the last four and a half months now, in fact, the Chief Minister has been evading the summons. The latest one, the 9th one, was today. Like I said, he moved the High Court expecting some form of interim relief, some form of interim protection, if you will, from arrest, but that was denied to him by a division bench of the Delhi High Court. There's also heavy security outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence right now. Like I said, top Aam Aadmi Party leaders and ministers have arrived there. The workers are chanting slogans and, trying to create a mahal, as they say, an environment, as they say, where they are making this out to be. And this is an allegation from the opposition, a political charge from the opposition for a number of months and years now, that the Modi government is targeting opposition leaders and opposition candidates at times in a vicious manner to try and shut down political opposition to the Modi government, and using these alleged corruption cases to shut down the political opposition. Let me go across first to my colleague Ananya, who's joining us from outside the Chief Minister's residence. Just describe the scene around you, Ananya, for our viewers. We can see rapid action force. We can also see at the other end protesters of the Aam Aadmi Party. What is going on both outside his house and inside the Chief Minister's residence?
Well, definitely, Zaka, it's a high-level drama night right here outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. The RAF, the paramilitary forces, and also, in fact, the Delhi police officials, along with the protesters of the Aam Aadmi Party here outside the Chief Minister's residence. Soon after, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate teams entered the Delhi Chief Minister's house. They wanted to question him in the Delhi excise policy case. Remember, very key question.
The Delhi High Court denying any kind of interim protection to him in this particular case. Not only this, he has faced 2 complaints from the Enforcement Directorate for being a public servant and keeping the orders of a law enforcement agency under Section 174. Also, Indian Penal Code had to secure a bail in that particular case as well. So very clearly and categorically, though the Aam Aadmi Party is defending Mr. Arvind Kejriwal in this particular case, there are the sources in the Aam Aadmi Party legal team have also confirmed this and using very, very clearly and categorically that they are making all attempts to seek the urgent hearing before the Supreme Court of India. The petition has already been filed via e-filing, and in fact, any kind of urgent mentioning is being attempted so that they're contacting the registrars mentioning of the Supreme Court. They're also trying to get an urgent hearing. They're trying to push in their request to the Chief Justice of India for an urgent fixing. But whether or not that is allowed, only time can tell us, or the Chief Justice of India himself. So very clearly and categorically, we'll have to wait and watch for that. But it is definitely high drama night at the Delhi Chief Minister.
All right, it clearly is a lot of drama. In fact, his supporters, they are protesting outside the Chief Minister's residence. That's happening on one end. At the other end, you can see the blue uniformed security personnel. They are the Rapid Action Force. There are also CRPF personnel. Delhi Police, of course, is there. We've been given to understand that the top honchos of the Delhi Police are all there outside the Chief Minister's residence to try and prevent any kind of untoward incident. But it looks like the grounds are being laid for an imminent arrest of the Delhi Chief Minister. Anshul is also joining us live now. Anshul, what is going on inside? Questioning has been going on for the better part of more than 2 hours now. It started a little past 7 o'clock this evening when an ED team reached the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. Tell us and tell our viewers, what is it that the ED is telling you as they're trying to make a case for why Kejriwal could potentially be arrested?
So yes, the case of Enforcement Directorate got even more stronger after the arrest of K. Kavita, and that is the reason why the Enforcement Directorate now wants to question Arvind Kejriwal with the newfound facts in this entire matter. Because remember, in the remand note that we had accessed out here at CNN News 18, that also had clearly narrated that how Arvind Kejriwal was practically the kingpin of this entire alleged liquor policy scam that happened out here in the national capital. And at this point in time, what sources from the investigating team are telling CNN News 18 is that the CM somewhere or the other is trying to be evasive of the questions that are being asked by the Delhi Chief Minister. This could eventually spell more trouble for the Delhi Chief Minister at this point in time as we speak. What action will the Enforcement Directorate will take, that is something that remains to be seen. But outside the residence, in fact in this entire area, VVPI area of civil lines, Section 144 has been imposed. People have been stopped from coming anywhere close to the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. A handful of supporters have reached over here. But if you could see the traffic situation outside, right outside the gates of the Delhi Chief Minister's residence, you can see that there is a heavy traffic stance. Police personnel and central forces that have been deployed over here are in numbers of hundreds who are already stopping people, already stopping vehicles from coming anywhere close to the Delhi Chief Minister's residence. Not only this, but drones are also being used over here to keep an eye out at each and every moment to make sure that the situation remains under control. What we can confirm as well that senior police officials of the Delhi Police, including DCP of the North area, is inside the residence of Delhi Chief Minister at this point in time as we speak as well. So definitely the manner in which the arrangements are being made, we can expect a big action that could come forth in the next few minutes or probably in the next few hours. What we can also confirm to our viewers is that 4 to 5 mobile phones have been seized by the Enforcement Directorate. Along with that, 2 tablets have also been taken into custody by the Enforcement Directorate already, which means that the Enforcement Directorate is collecting evidences from inside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. So definitely it seems like that more trouble is mounting for the Delhi Chief Minister. We are still awaiting from the side an official confirmation from the side of Enforcement Directorate as to what action they could take, but the investigating officer of this entire liquor policy scam is inside the residence of the Delhi Chief Minister. He is questioning him as to what more information can he provide to the Enforcement Directorate regarding the alleged liquor scam that happened out here in the national capital, because the allegations against the Delhi Chief Minister is actually very serious, and especially after the arrest of K. Kavita and how people have now or the accused or the people who have turned witnesses in this entire matter have taken the name of Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal as to how he was in contact with K. Kavita as well, and how he had asked for an 100 crore rupee kickback to be given to
all right,
the Aam
Anshul,
Aadmi
just
Party
give me a
that could have
moment.
been-
Right now, we don't have confirmation of this, but there are unconfirmed reports that Kejriwal has been arrested. Remember, the ED sources were telling CNN News 18 that he was being non-cooperative, that he was being evasive when to their questions. That, of course, is a classic situation when an accused person is not cooperating with the investigation. That becomes grounds for arresting that individual concerned. So that information we had got about 20 minutes or so back. Now there are unconfirmed reports. Like I said, it is unconfirmed as of right now that Mr. Kejriwal has already been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Remember, you can see now Delhi police teams going in, some of them moving through the barricades. They are pushing back the protesters. They are being taken out through those buses that had been parked outside the Chief Minister's residence. So many of the protesters are being removed from right outside the Chief Minister's residence. But huge drama going on right outside the Chief Minister's residence with the protesters there. And like I said, we are still awaiting confirmation from our reporters, definitive confirmation. Only after that, we're going to put it out on air. Right now, there are unconfirmed reports which seem to be suggesting that the Chief Minister is arrested. But here on CNN News 18, we are not confirming that. But the information that we had up until 10 minutes ago was that the Chief Minister was allegedly being evasive and non-cooperative in the questioning that's been going on from a little past 7 o'clock this evening. And therefore, that in instances in the past, and if you look at all classic legal cases in the past, that has been the reason why an accused person has been taken into custody, because he or she was allegedly non-cooperative and the answers that he or she was giving was being evasive. So that's what we have as of now. Let me try and stay with our reporters for now till we get confirmation of the arrest. But right now, like I said, what we do have is that Mr. Kejriwal is being questioned for the better part of the last 2 hours and about 10 minutes or so now. There is huge drama outside his residence. There are teams of the Rapid Action Force, there are teams of the Delhi Police, teams of the CRPF who have all been deployed. You can see some of them taking away, the Delhi Police teams taking away some of the protesters who had gathered outside Kejriwal's residence, who were indulging in sloganeering, making this into a protest. Of course, if you're in the political opposition to Kejriwal, then you would call this some kind of a tamasha, some kind of a drama. But clearly there is a lot of drama outside Mr. Kejriwal's residence. There is Section 144 that's been imposed. So this would be in violation of Section 144. But that, you could also argue, is to try and avoid any kind of untoward situation in the event that the Chief Minister is getting arrested. So Ananya, there are unconfirmed reports doing the rounds. There are other media channels that are running this. We are not until we get confirmation, definitive confirmation from one of our reporters on the ground that Mr. Kejriwal has been arrested. So far, there is no definitive confirmation of that. But what we did hear from ED sources, Ananya, and walk our viewers through this, is that Mr. Kejriwal was being evasive, non-cooperative in the investigation. Is this classic legal? All right, let's listen to Atishi, who's just speaking outside the Chief Minister's house.
अरेस्ट कर लिया है। ये बिल्कुल साफ था, जितनी भारी संख्या में पुलिस आई थी, जितनी भारी संख्या में पैरामिलिट्री फोर्सेस यहाँ पे स्टेशन थे, कि आज ईडी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को अरेस्ट करने के लिए आ रही है। अरविंद केजरीवाल का अरेस्ट भारतीय जनता पार्टी की और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की एक राजनीतिक साजिश है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को अगर किसी एक नेता
Chief Minister has been arrested. This is a huge developing story. This is a big breaking story, ladies and gentlemen. A sitting Chief Minister, the sitting Chief Minister of Delhi, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, has been arrested in the Liquor Gate probe. Remember, he had approached the Delhi High Court asking for protection earlier today. That was denied by a division bench, and basis that the ED has been questioning him since a little past 7 o'clock this evening. After 2 hours plus of questioning, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been arrested. Now, he will be taken away from his residence. He will be taken to the ED office. Of course, they can keep him there for about 24 hours, after which he will have to be produced before a magistrate where the ED will ask for further custody. But for now, Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, has been arrested in the Liquor Gate scandal. Many other political netas have also been arrested in this case. The latest, of course, was K. Kavita, the BRS chief. Before that, Manish Sisodia, Sanjay Singh. And now today, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Arunima has more details. Arunima.
It was all building up to this. When the Enforcement Directorate probe team said that their Chief Minister was being evasive in his answer, that was like the last indication of where this is heading. And now, what we are hearing from sources, though I must qualify by saying that Enforcement Directorate officially is still sightless, but what we are hearing from sources on ground is that the arrest memo has been served. So the process of taking the Chief Minister into custody has begun. What happens here on is that, there will be formalities, the paperwork will be completed, the arrest memo will be signed, a copy of which will be given to him. There will be 2 witnesses as well. And then the process of bringing Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal to the ED headquarters will begin. He'll be brought to the ED headquarters. ED team will have about 24 hours